us a better game, give us a better game, give us a better game than the dribble that we just watched. Hey guys, how you going? So now BKRsport, we are live with the Canterbury Bulldogs taking on the New Zealand Warriors in a really big game here for both these teams. It just came off the back of the Raiders absolutely punching the Tigers in the mouth 56-10. And Dane Laurie scored a hat-trick. I didn't even realise that at the time. But the Tiger season is mathematically, officially done-a-runo. And the Raiders, they're still fighting on to try and get into that top 8 themselves. They're actually not too far away now. They're only the one win behind the Cowboys, and they've got a better points differential than them. So, very interesting times there in the old capital of Australia. But let's move on here to this game here today between the Bulldogs and the Warriors, where both teams are playing for a lot right now. Do me a favour, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new around here. Let's fire on. So the Bulldogs 11th, Warriors 3rd. This is at the Core Stadium in Sydney. Now the ins of the Bulldogs, Jed Reardon and Stephen Crichton, with the outs being Jack Underhill and Marcelo Montoya. The fullback is Connor Tracy, with the wingers being Jacob Kiraz and Jethro Renakama. Centres of Matty Burton and Anari Tuala. The 5'8" is Stephen Crichton, who is the captain, and Lachlan Galvin is the halfback. Front row forwards are Max King and Leo Thompson, with the number 9 being Bailey Hayward. Back row, Billy Viliami Kickoff and Jacob Preston, with the 13 being Jamin Salmon. And the interchange is Sean O'Sullivan, Josh Curran, Harry Hayes, Lipoi Hapoi, Jed Reardon, and Gordon Chenkum Tong, with the coach being Cameron Soraldo. Now, the game starts in 10 minutes, so let's rock on with the Warriors, where their ins are Luke Metcalf and their out is Eddie Jeremiah Tawava. The fullback is Tane Tuapiki, with the wingers being Daniel Watini Telesniak and Alofiana Khan Pereira. Centers of Ali Leotawa and Adam Pompey. The 5'8" is Chanel Harris Savita, with the halfback being Tamati Martin. The front row forwards are James Fisher-Harris, who was the captain, and Mitchell Barnett, with the number 9 being Wade Egan. Back row of Kurt Catewell and Jacob Laban, with the 13 being Aaron Clark. And the interchange is Sam Healy, Tanner Stowers Smith, Dimitri Vaimelga, Leka Halasima, Leka Nareka, Charles Newell Clockstad, and Luke Metcalf, with the coach being Andrew Webster. This is a very, very important game here for the Bulldogs, where look, they're still in need of 5 more wins for the season to get to the old 13. So they've still got a lot of groundwork to make up here. When you're talking about the 5 games that they've got to win, you've got to also remember that they have already played all 3 of their byes, so that's a benefit to them at this point of the season. They've got the Warriors, the Storm away, the Roosters away, the Rabbitohs at home, the Dragons away, the Panthers away, and then the Broncos at home. It is a tricky schedule, but also it's actually still doable and it's still there, because this week, obviously, against the Warriors are not a perfect product right now. Despite the fact they're in second, you should still have some confidence and still hold a great deal of confidence actually behind the Warriors, because they do deserve their spot up the top end of the table, and they still have been getting those wins. 20-12 over the Dragons was a little bit dubious. Still got the job done. Whooped the Tigers. Did lose to the Dolphins, though, who were, top 5 team. Beat the Cowboys. Did lose the Sharks, who were a top 4 team. Did lose the Panthers, who plays out in that game. They did, get past the Dragons in that first game, first matchup. But there has been a bit of worrying signs behind the Warriors recently, where they've still been getting wins and they've still been scoring points. But I will have a few questions in terms of their attack. So it's not like this is an impossible game for the Bulldogs, despite the fact that you would be leaning with the Warriors here, being up there in the chance to win that minor premiership, with the Panthers losing last week, and the Warriors get to play the Panthers in a couple of weeks' time. They just need to keep winning. But it isn't out of the equation. The Storm game next week is definitely a great chance for the Bulldogs to go and get a win. So we're going to entertain it by saying they win against the Warriors. We'll entertain it by saying they get the Storm. Then they've got the Roosters. Let's go and say they lose that game at Allianz Stadium, but it's also still there to be won. The Rabbitohs, they could absolutely win that game. There's 3. They still need 2 more. They've got the Dragons in round 25. Well, there's 4. And then you just need to win one of your 2 games between the Panthers and the Broncos. Still, you need to fix your points differential, because 32 won't guarantee you. If you can get 6 out of your remaining 6 games, then big time. If you can get 7 out of your remaining 7 games, or 6 out of your remaining 7 games, then brilliant. But you just need the 5 to get to the 32. I do think this is actually still on here with the Bulldogs, provided that you do go and put a good showing in today. Because mathematically speaking, you would not be out of the hunt with a loss here. You would not be out of the hunt, but it would be extremely difficult then, and obviously you'd only have 1 loss that you could have for the rest of the season. At the moment, you can only have 2 losses for the rest of the season. So, look, Bulldogs are still in with a chance, but they have to put in a good showing here to put them into some good momentum ahead of the Storm away in Melbourne next week. And then you go to the Warriors, where they are on 12 wins. So they haven't actually put themselves as a guarantee for top 8 yet, even though they are a guarantee for the top 8. They just need one win out of Bulldogs away, Titans away, Panthers at home, Broncos away, Rabbitohs away, and Knights at home, and Manly at home. So they've got 7 games remaining. They've already had all 3 of their byes. Right now, we're not thinking about top 8 because they're guaranteed top 8. Right now, we're thinking about top 4 for a start, and then also for the minor premiership, because with a win here today, they would only be 1 win away from the Panthers, and then it'd only be 2 weeks away from them actually getting to play the Panthers. Now, they do have a trickier game against the Titans, and it's not because I'm a Titans fan. The Warriors have struggled quite considerably since 2020 with beating the Titans. That doesn't mean that the Titans go and win. The Titans should lose that game, absolutely. The Warriors should punch us in the mouth, especially with a massive crowd there in West Auckland and the Gold Coast. But the fact of the matter is that it's a bit tricky there. But overall, to get the minor premiership, well, last year to get the minor premiership, you did need to get to 44 points, which was 19 wins. They are still 7 wins away from that right now. So that's looking unlikely to achieve that. Second place was the Storm on 40. I wouldn't even say the Panthers are guaranteed that 19 wins. They probably do get it. Like, the Panthers right now are just looking still red hot for that minor premiership, of course. But last year you did need to get 19 wins, which is 7 more wins. So you'd need to win 7 in a row to get to where the Raiders got to last year. In 2025... in 2024, by the time you got to round 27, the minor premiers, which was the Storm, had 44. So they had 19 wins. You go to 2023, and the Panthers had 42 points, 18 wins. So you'd only need to win 6 more games for that to be the case, only 6 out of 7. And then you go back to 2022. This was in This was before the Dolphins came into the competition. They got to 42, which was 20. Well, that was actually 20 wins that the Panthers had. The Panthers had 20 wins with 42 points there. In 2021, it was 21 wins for the minor premiers, with the Melbourne Storm getting to 44. But long story short, like, for you to get the minor premiership, you would dead set need to, at minimum, win 6 out of your remaining 7 games. And to guarantee it, it'd be 7 out of your remaining 7 games is what you'd be having to guarantee it. And it's not out of the equation. Like, the Panthers game is just completely up in the air. But Titans is winnable. Bulldogs is winnable. The Broncos is winnable. Rabbitohs is winnable. Knights is winnable. And Manly is winnable. And if you think you can win the comp this year, if you are the team that you believe that your team has promised to be, there's a good chance that you could go on a massive run here coming into these finals. So you just need to keep winning. You just need to keep winning. If you do that, well, you got a chance, and you've got to beat the Panthers. You must beat the Panthers. But that's their run home. And there is still a chance, but it's really hard. They need to get 6 out of 7 to get to the 42, 7 out of 7 to get to the 44. So it's still on, but geez, it's still quite unlikely. But then again, I don't know what it's going to be to get to the minor premiers. I don't think that the Panthers finish anything short than 18 wins. They'll get 4 more wins out of the remaining 6 games for mine. But again, they play the Roosters and the Warriors. You know, they're going to be 2 tough games there. So it's still up in the air. But I think a 42 will be a minimum. 44 is probably still likely. But then again, no, you know what? I'm going to say 42 is this year. I don't know if a team will get to 19 wins. I think you might see Panthers get 4 more wins the rest of the season. They might lose one of those Roosters games, and yeah, it's still up in the air, man. So very difficult to read, but at the very least, you need to be winning 6 out of your remaining 7, and it has to start here today. So I'm going to take the Warriors. I do think the Bulldogs will be up for this. I think it'll be a 1-12 win. Could there be a World Warriors win by 13 plus? Sure. I just don't know if they have a great deal of attack right now, despite the fact that they're scoring points. I do think that they've been very benefited by certain teams that they've been playing. I want to see their attack really come to fruition today. Whilst the Bulldogs, obviously, we know they can't really attack, right? So, but they're in the hunt for the top 8, so they need to really fire up here at home. But I am going to still take the Warriors by 1-12. I think it'll be a close game. Now, in regards to the ladder, the Warriors, they're in 3rd position on 30 points with 12 wins and a plus 202 points differential. Well, if they win this game, they would go back above the Roosters, who obviously won last night, and they would go to 2nd. They've got a better points differential than them. They've got a plus 85. They'd be 1 win short of the Panthers, and the Panthers play the Raiders next week, which is a big game. Wow, that's a big game between those 2 teams. But again, the Warriors have to play the Panthers in 2 weeks' time. So they'd be really chomping at the bit for that one. But the Warriors would be in second with a win. If they lose, however, well, the Sharks are on 28 points with plus 125. The Dolphins are 28 points with plus 84. But then again, they've already played their game. Sharks play Manly tomorrow. It's too much of a swing. 202 to 125. You would see the Sharks win by, say, if they won by 30, they'd get to plus 155. The Warriors would start to lose by 50 to the Bulldogs. It's not happening. So the Sharks could get equal with you, which would be scary for you, but you would finish the round in third regardless, Warriors. Now, in regards to the Canterbury Bulldogs, they're situated in 10th position right now on 22 points, equal with the Manly Seagulls on 22, but Manly have a plus 1 on 26, which is scary. Bulldogs minus 70. So with a win here for the Bulldogs, they'd go above Manly, but they play the Sharks tomorrow, so they'd be in 9th position. They would go equal with the Cowboys. If you win this game by 34 points or more, you go above the Cowboys today into the top 8, but the Cowboys do play the Broncos right after this one. And you actually don't even need to win by 34 because it just depends on how much the Cowboys lose by. But if the Cowboys win, you'll drop back into 9th position. Manly win, you drop back into 10th position. So with a win, you still finish in 10th, but there is also a chance that you finish in the top 8 for the weekend. You will still be one win behind the Cowboys, though. They've still got a bye to come. That's actually kind of a benefit to them at this point of the season, sort of. But if the Bulldogs lose this game, well, Storm lost. The Raiders did win, and the Raiders are actually above the Bulldogs right now. So they're actually already in 11th position. So they would go back above the Raiders. I forgot to mention that. It didn't update yet. But the Raiders have gone into 10th with a minus 35, Bulldogs minus 70. If the Bulldogs are to lose, they cannot drop any spots because the Broncos are 4 points behind them. The Storm, they lost last night. They're 2 points behind them. So with a loss, you finish in 11th, but with a win, again, you could technically be in the top 8 by the end of this game. You could technically be in the top 8 by the end of the round. You know, it would be crazy to see that considering their season so far. But the game is about to start here, guys, so do me a favour. Go and smack that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you are new around here. Let me know your thoughts in regards to the game. Are we going to get an up the wires or are we going to get a doggy? Woof, woof. It's all started. Warriors kick it off. Bulldogs receive the ball here at the 3 through Lachlan Galvin, and they give it off to Leo Thompson, who's going to bring this ball out here to the 10 on first tackle. Like I said, thumbs up, subscribe. Let me just refresh this old live score so that it's moving and grooving so you can see that underneath us. And bing bong, there we go. What are we going to see here today? The Bulldogs' second tackle now will be at the 18 through the big old Jacob Kiraz. Shauna with the $2 donation. Get on your Shauna. Thanks for supporting the channel, my man. Put a love heart there. Beautiful. Andrew says, I missed the Raiders-Tigers game. Did Ethan Strange play his way into the Kiwi number 6 contention? Andrew, please. Andrew, don't do this. Don't do this, please. Please, don't do this. So the Dunks says, Vars up. Jake says, Eels now have a better points differential than the Tigers. The Tigers have the second worst points differential in the competition, mate. You know, they're on minus 208. They're actually close to having a worse points differential than the Dragons. Dragons are minus 247. Tigers are lucky they banked those wins up earlier in the season because the Dragons aren't winning 5 games to finish off their year. It would be a miracle. Could definitely win tomorrow, but it'd be a miracle for them to win 5 games from their remaining 7. So, yeah, the Tigers won't get the wooden spoon, but gee whiz, they're playing like... They're lucky they had a great start of this season. Second tackle now at 20 for the Warriors, and they give it off here to Dalamatine-Zelezniak, to Matty Martin, and to Matty Martin will be at the 25 and third tackle. Well... So Matty Martin's got a really big end to this season. He's going to be starting to really click on. Dalamatine-Zelezniak, an amazing run into the 45 on 4 tackle. You're going to have to really look out for Matty Martin's performances at the end of this year because, you've obviously got, You've obviously got Dylan Brown, who's been injured for the New Zealand 6 role, Jerome Hughes will be the 7. Well, now that 6 has opened up. Is it going to be to Matty Martin? Is it going to be Cody Nikorima? We had a shout of Jet Clearer yesterday. It's all good, Peter. We had a shout of Jet Clearer yesterday. Even Ethan Sanders, who's not a Kiwi yesterday. But no, watch out for Matty Martin. Watch out for Cody Nikorima and how their play style... What? Why are we watching Grace Hayden on the sideline right now? Like, okay, penalty to the Bulldogs here. Middle of the game, and we're watching Grace Hayden commentate from the sideline. That's great. We can listen to her, but why do we need to watch her when we're watching the game right now? What's happening right now? Luckily, there's a penalty. With all due respect to Grace, there's no problem with Grace. It's just that the broadcast, they didn't even kick the ball out in the 4 of the Bulldogs. The Warriors get the ball at the 50. Oh, no, that's a cardinal sin of rugby league. Not even kicking the ball out from a penalty is just brutal. So the Warriors now will get this ball here at the 50. Kurt Capewell on second tackle. Again, no problem with Grace Hayden. It's just that why are we looking at her when the game was on? You know what I mean? The penalty hadn't even come yet. Cheesy Michael says, hello, mister. Get on your cheesy. Troy says, your screen glitching. My screen's glitching, is it? I can't really do anything about that, but hopefully it sorts itself out. And the Warriors will be taken down here at the 35 on 4th tackle. Is everything all good now in regards to the stream, guys? Come in the chat. Let me know. Let me know. So they'll be at the 28 on 5th tackle. And Wade Egan goes right-hand side to Tane Tuapiki. Tane knocks the ball on. And this is going to be Dogs' ball at 20. Who is Grace Hayden? Grace Hayden is a sideline commentator. Again, nothing wrong with her. It's just to do with the broadcast and showing her. That's good here. Okay, sweet. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, so there's another knock on here. It's not been a great start for these two teams. The Warriors knock on there. Bulldogs don't get the ball out on the penalty. Yikes. Big game for the Wars game. Big game for the Wars today, banana skin game. Yeah, banana skin game for sure. It's a big game for both these teams, man. The Bulldogs, they're fighting really hard to get back into that top 8. I don't think that they go on and win a comp or anything like that, but they can be a danger team if all things go on right going into those finals. They could be a sneaky little danger team for, a couple of those 5, 6, 7, 8 range teams. Lee McDonald says, lads, quick, who wins? Dogs or Warriors? Going to punt it. I've got Wars, but it's going to be a close one, but I've got the Wars. Lose today, Doggies are gone, in my opinion, Scooby Snack says. Well, again, they're going to win 5 out of the last 7 games and fix their points differential. So it wouldn't necessarily be that the Dogs are gone, but they would have to win 5 out of their 6 remaining games, and it's not exactly easy. There is... Oh, that's going to be a penalty. I think it's a... Oh, they're going to say this is a 6 again here for the Dogs. I thought there was going to be a penalty here for the Warriors for William Kickout taking out the play before the ball even came down. Anyway, it's going to be 0 tackle here for the Dogs, 5 metres away from the line. Bailey Hayward gets out the back here to Jamin Salmon. Salmon across here to Connor Tracy. Connor Tracy goes through, taking down to the 10 on first tackle here. Jeez, the Dogs onto the attack early. I would love to see that again, though. I thought William Kickout got there a little bit early. Jamin Salmon off the Lachlan Galvin. Galvin gets his ball to the 5 and then crunched down on second tackle here. They're claiming a penalty. I don't think he went past the horizontal there. Bailey Hayward, he'll put it out to Leo Thompson. And Leo Thompson runs his ball hard to the 4 on third tackle now. Third tackle. Bailey Hayward back out to the left-hand side to Stephen Crichton. Crichton now to Viliami Kickout. Kickout gets the offload away to Stephen Crichton. Try time for the Bulldogs. Try time for the Bulldogs, and Stephen Crichton will score. It is 4-0 here with the kick to come to the Dogs. What a nightmare start this has been for the Warriors, especially after the Bulldogs didn't kick the ball out in the fall from the penalty. Then they go to knock the ball on. The Bulldogs get up the other end of the field. I do debate whether Kickout got there a little bit early. Here we go. Oh, no, they're both competing for it. And it wasn't even Kickout, actually, mind you. It wasn't Kickout. That was the one. No, this was fair. Completely fair. They were both competing for the ball there. And it was actually Rena Karma that was making the play. But yeah, Viliami Kickout, great run, great offload to Crichton. And then Dallin Winston-Lesnat can't really do much there because he's got to keep an eye on that wing of Rena Karma if Crichton passes that ball. But obviously Crichton just does him over and steps on the inside. And this actually worked out to be a really nice try here for the Dogs. So 4-0 here with the kick to come. Just Bogus says, the way the Dogs won that gritty, ugly game versus the Broncos, I feel they can beat anyone. Oh, that's a big call. That's a big call to go and beat anybody. But they are playing better football at this point of the season than they have previously. But also, the Broncos game you're referring to, mate, that's like... Wait, they haven't even beat the Broncos. What game are you talking about, Bulldogs? Bulldogs, Broncos? The way they beat the won the gritty, ugly game versus the Broncos. I feel they can beat anyone. What game against the Broncos? The Bulldogs have only played the Broncos once this year and lost 32-12 back in round 8. The Bulldogs played the Broncos again in round 27. Are you talking about the Manly game? I would not agree with that. If you're saying that the Bulldogs could be anyone based on the Manly game, that's an outrageous opinion, but it is your opinion. But no, the Broncos is incorrect. They've lost the Broncos this year. Sean Nakora says, if the Bulldogs win, I'll get a Bulldog tatted on my face. I would not be suggesting putting out bet suggestions like this one, sir. Cosmic Loves, I love being a Raider. Games like those are just amazing. Yeah, I feel like you always have a pretty good run against the Tigers at home. And they will get the kick. Stephen Crichton makes it 6-0 to the Bulldogs. Maybe we've got a good game coming up here, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe a good game. Noel says, by the way, Zach Lomax was sighted in Port Moresby today. I witnessed his presence at a prominent hotel near the airport. I guess he's here for a PNG Chiefs talks. Wow. Yeah, Zach Lomax is a knob, but great player for Papua New Guinea if they can sign him. Great player. that's a huge signing for them. You know, like obviously they've already got Jerome Luai's a worry right now, but then again, I just don't know if he gives a shit about the Tigers. I don't know if he ever really did. You know, Munster is a potential signing for Papua New Guinea. Obviously, they're going now hard at Lomax. They've got Alex Johnston. You know, they're putting themselves in pretty good stead for sure. At least Lomax isn't an older player like your Luais, like your Alex Johnstons and whatnot, like your Munsters. You know, Zach Lomax is still, you know, got plenty of years left in him. But he's a knob. He's a knob still. Walter says, up the Wars, baby. Jasmine says, before this year, what was the highest the Warriors got to? Well, they've won a minor premiership before, but that was because the Bulldogs got, funnily enough, the Bulldogs, third tackle with the Dogs at 25. That was because the Bulldogs got their salary cap slapped down and lost all their points. But the Warriors have been in 2 grand finals. They've just lost both of them. First one by a cricket score, second one to Manly by 24-10. Rice says Warriors won at 12, but a Bulldogs won at 12 wouldn't surprise me. Seb says, Rice, you sure you don't want to cover the draw as well? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either way here, but I do think that, that's going to be a knock-on here from the Dogs, I think. Yep, that'll be a knock-on. Dogs, Warriors bought the 20. They've come in with some intention here. I think if you're going to use a Bulldogs game this year as an example, you would use the Bulldogs-Panthers game from like round 7, round 8 or whatever it was. That's the game you would look at as an example of what the Bulldogs can achieve, but you just haven't seen that besides that game this year at any stage. Now, I'm going to skip past a few of those older comments to get to the more to the live chat because we're well behind it. Now, it's going to be Lofiana Khan-Pereira brings his ball now to the 32 on second tackle. Slugger Ramos says, had a bit of a chuckle when you outlined how Dogs could make it into the 8 after today's game, win by 34 points or more. They have yet to score 34 points in a game this year. No, I agree. I'm just giving you the statistics on what it would mean for them to get into the top 8 today. But it's also not true because it's not an insult towards you. Oh, Mitchell Barnett here, taking on 45 on fifth tackle. I think you missed out the point where it was like, well, it has to be a 34-point switch between the Cowboys losing and the Bulldogs winning for the Bulldogs to be in the 8 today. So if they could be in the 8 if they score 34 points, a 34-point win in this game, but it would more so they could win by 12 and the Cowboys could lose by 22 and the Bulldogs would be in as well, if you know what I mean. And that's not me saying the Bulldogs are going to have that. I'm just outlining how it's possible. All right, so yeah, that's not my prediction because I tipped the Wars. 30 minutes to go here, the first half, guys. 10 minutes gone. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new around here. And Nari Tuwala is going to bring this ball to the 20 on third tackle. Skippy Snack says, you wouldn't want to play the Bunnies or Dolphins if they finish 5 to 8th and full strength. Dolphins don't have the experience, but sure. They'll go to the right-hand side. Con Tracy gets his ball to the 45 on... No, he gets the offload away to Jamin Salmon. I tell you what, the Bulldogs are coming in with far more intention than the Warriors in this first 10 minutes. Far more intention. They're going to wake up a little bit here. Yeah, they are really targeting Dallin Martinez-Lesniak, Andrew, you're right. But it will be Tane to a pick. He grabs this ball at 10. And they'll bring it out now to the 20 on first tackle. Fun fact says, if the Bulldogs win and the Warriors put on fraud alert, they have looked shaky in their previous matches, especially against the Dragons last week. I would consider it, yeah. Yeah, I would. I would do it. I should have put the Warriors on fraud alert after they lost to the Sharkies, but I didn't do it, and I've regretted it. I would probably do it this time if they lost this game because this is a crucial game for them to win. And this is the thing that we've been saying. So 4 tackle for the Warriors, I'll be at the 35. But what we've been saying about the top 4 right now is nobody is setting in stone and putting their foot down and saying we're going to win this fucking competition. Nobody is coming out and saying we are the best team in this competition and we are going to win this comp. Bulldogs will get this ball here at the 15. Connor Tracy. He'll get the ball across here to Karaz, and Karaz now is going to get this ball to Rinakama. Rinakama could get away here. Taking down the 25 on first tackle. Nobody has come out and put their foot down and said, we are the best team in this competition because the Panthers have looked extremely shaky. The Warriors have been getting by. The Roosters have been absolutely just getting by in their games. Even Roosters fans on their Instagram page last night were saying our wins are feeling like losses. Nobody right now is putting their foot down and saying we are the best team in the comp. Warriors, you've got to do it today. David Carraz is away here, gets it off hit Stephen Crichton. Crichton now to the 40. Third tackle. They're all over him right now, the Bulldogs. The Warriors have an opportunity today to be that team. 6 again here with the Bulldogs at 38. They have an opportunity today. They're not showing it right now. The Roosters didn't show it last night. The Panthers didn't show it the other day as well against the Eels. It's now, unless the Warriors can turn this around right now, it's now up to you. Sharks against Manly. You know, you've got to try and put a foot down, but you're so inconsistent and so all over the shop themselves. Matty Burton now, he'll be taken down to the 10 on second tackle. Second tackle here for the Bulldogs. They get it back here to Bailey Hayward. Hayward at the 15, Jamin Salmon. Salmon at the back now to Lachlan Galvin. Galvin gets a short ball straight through for Jacob Preston with the try time. The Dogs are all over him, bro. The Dogs are all over them right now. This is monumental stuff here from Canterbury. 10-0 to get to come. I haven't seen them play this way in a long time. I haven't seen the Dogs play like this in a long time, man. This is really quality football from them. The Warriors are just off the pace as we currently speak. The Bulldogs are chomping at the bit for that top 8. You've got to be careful here, Warriors. You've got to be really careful. Annie says, yes, Lomax is a selfish knob. Definitely agree. Dam11 says, 7 minutes in, already Dogs score. Mate, 13 minutes in, they've scored twice. Fun Fact says they also played very well against the Storm in round 12. Yeah, that was a good performance from the Dogs. Yeah, for sure, against the Melbourne Storm. The Storm were awful at that time, but the Dogs, just because a team plays bad, this is a really common misconception we have in sport. A team plays bad, people say the team played bad, that's why that team was good. Not necessarily. A team can play bad and a team can play good, and it can completely, you can see the two separate sides there. The Storm weren't good, but the Bulldogs were very good in that game. That was probably their last really good game, actually. I would say that was probably their last really good game. Patricia says, can the Sharks get with the Roosters tomorrow by points? What? The Sharks are 4 points behind the Roosters. The Roosters have 13 wins. The Sharks have 11 wins. So my answer to you is no, Patricia. Kenny says, hi, everyone. We're going to hear back to preach rugby like a Christian missionary educates the natives. Hope everyone is okay and having a great weekend so far. Get around you, Kenny. Sad to hear about the rain in England, as it is every single day. But no, get around you, Kenny. Good to have you back. And the Warriors are going to be down 12-0. 13 minutes gone here. But also, just a little bit of a heads up here, Kenny. This is rugby league, not rugby. So rugby is traditionally is for rugby union. I know it's rugby league, but this is rugby league, not rugby. Rugby is traditionally called rugby union. Oh no, Sean, better start having a look for the face tattoo. Oh yeah, Sean Nakora, brother. Oh, you said that if the Bulldogs win, you get a Bulldog face tattoo. Oh no, Sean Nakora, what's going on? Chad says, you know everything, sounds like it. Okay, well, Chad, what are you disagreeing with here? So obviously you're taking piss. So what are you disagreeing with? It's all well and good to come in and say, and take the piss out of me saying, okay, well, I feel like a know-it-all. Okay, well, that's great. Well, tell me what I'm wrong with, or tell me where you disagree with me on. The chat is open for you. It's a lot better than just using it for, I'm a know-it-all. If you're talking about me, I don't even know if you're talking about me, to be fair. You could be talking about somebody else. But chat, if you disagree with something that I am saying, then feel free to educate me on your opinion in regards to what I'm saying and why I'm wrong. That's the whole point of the chat there. So it's going to be second tackle here for the Dogs. They're going to be the 18. Dogs looking dangerous in the first 10 minutes. They are, Brenton, for sure. They are. So Viliami Kickout is now going to get this ball to the 25 on third tackle. Fun Fact says the Warriors have been very complacent in this opening 10 minutes. Well, sure, but also the Dogs have just been really quality in this first 14 minutes as well. They have been playing some good footy in the first 14. Bailey Hayward to Stephen Crichton, and Crichton's going to kick this ball down to the 20. Retain 12 pick. He gets it, and he's going to bring it out now to the 35 on first tackle. This game's nowhere near over. There's a long way to go. The Warriors have just got to really turn up, though, because they've had 119 metres, whilst the Bulldogs are already at 350. It's a big gap in 14 minutes. Chad says 17th place can play good and still can't beat a top 4 team analogy. 17th place can play good. And what are you trying to say here? 17th place can play good and still can't beat a top 4 team analogy. I'm not too sure what you're actually trying to say here. Right hand side with the Warriors, and Martinez Lesniak. Martinez Lesniak's going to be the 25 because bottom 4 teams can absolutely still beat top 4 teams. It's just, it doesn't usually happen, obviously. Like the Titans, for example, beat the Panthers about 4 weeks ago. And Warriors will get this kick. 10 metres out, they'll be taken down. The Bulldogs will get the ball for first tackle. Peter says, I played the game for many, many years and have watched the game for almost 40 years, and I really, really think the Dolphins will go all the way this year if injuries are kind. What do you think? I disagree. I can see the illusion in regards to the Dolphins, but they've also given up 50 points twice this year, and we've never seen a team win the comp whilst giving up 50 points. If all things go right for the Dolphins, yeah, look, sure, I would say there's an entire possibility for it to be the first team to do that. But with that being said, they lost 66-0 to the Sharks, and there's no excuses for giving up 66-0 at any point, even though they had a Sai Katoa out and Jack Bostock out and Hamiso out. Like, at the end of the day, that should impact your attack. It shouldn't really impact your defense to a 66-0 standpoint. So I think I'm really off them in regards to that, but I've also been impressed in the way that the Dolphins have adjusted their game style this year, where they're earning their right to attack through defense, except for a game like that. And that's just showing the inconsistency there. So whilst they can go and win the first game, whilst they can go win the second game, winning the grand final or winning the big game is the big question. They're away here, Matty Burton at the 35 on fit tackle. The big question is whether they can be consistent enough when it comes to the finals, because you can't have a loss. Lachlan Galvin taken down to the 12. Jeez, they're making really good movement here. Really good movement. The home of the NRL says, can never get a gauge on the teams in the top 4. Wars down by 12 to Dogs. The Panthers just beat the Eels and the Roosters beat an injury-ridden Knights. Again, Roosters fans have been saying recently that they've been feeling like their losses, they've been feeling like their wins have been losses. You know, Sharks are extremely inconsistent. The Warriors, there's just something that's feeling like it's holding you back from really going all in on them recently in terms of their attack. And the Panthers have just been shaky, but this is why I still keep backing the Panthers, because they've shown this before in slumps before, and they've still found a way to go on and win a competition. So the Warriors, they're going to get this ball to the 40 on 4 tackle. This is intense from the Bulldogs right now. This is intense play from the Bulldogs. Fisher Harris is going to get that offload away. Taintor Picky. He'll be taken down to 45 on fit tackle. Jason says, remember Storm paid all Lomax's court fees in confidence that he would eventually sign with them when he's eligible. Watch them hit him with a lawsuit at the start of 2028. Dude, the NRL is a mess right now in regards to situations like this, and you're right. You know, that is potential. There is potential for that. I don't know how much of a case they will actually have, though, because was it legally binding that he was, like, just because they thought that he would be, like, he would honour, not even a contract, but he would honour, like, a word, doesn't constitute them actually getting that money back. I can understand the grievance, but again, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know the answer to this, but I would say I don't know how much they would have a strong case for that to, you know, to sue Zach Lomax. Jacob Preston, 4 tackle, now fit tackle at the 50. Taken down at 50. Corey Walker says, go the Warriors. Kiwi in London says, I think Galvin has lost all the internal pressures with the imploding of the West. He can now play the game. That's out in the fall from the Bulldogs. Warriors, good chance now. They're going to get the ball to 50. That's an interesting point that you made there, Kiwi in London, actually. I think Galvin has lost all the internal pressures with the imploding of West Tigers. He can now play the game. Yeah, well, the focus isn't on Lachlan Galvin. I will say Galvin actually didn't play as... Galvin was actually their biggest try scorer in the first few games this year. But overall, he wasn't looking like a 7 at all. He has been better recently. I've actually been seeing a couple of 7s who've been poor throughout the year that have come good recently. But you're right, he doesn't have the same pressures that he did have. Plus, he's also getting a lot more used to the Bulldogs now after being there for just over a year. This is his first full season with the club as well. So, you know, Lachlan Galvin, he can be a good player. We just need to see him really go and prove it. And this is a great opportunity for him right now when they're on the pump trying to get into the finals. Left-hand side, they go to the left-hand side now. And it's going to be the Warriors. Adam Pompey at the 15. There might be a penalty. There is a penalty for the Warriors. A penalty to the Warriors here for a Dogs taking a player off the ball. But this game is far better already. Chanel Harris-Avita is down in back play here. God bless him. God bless him. You hate to say this. Anyway, Chad, I'm still wondering. Like, again, I'm not even having a crack at you here, Chad. I'm just asking. I'm trying to gauge what you're disagreeing with, because you said about the top 4 teams and 17th place team analogy. But I don't actually know what you're actually disagreeing with here. Again, I'm always encouraging people, if you disagree with my opinion, to explain why. I just don't understand what you're actually trying to say. Because if I'm trying to figure it out and you're saying that a 17th place team can beat a first place team, well, technically that is true. We've actually seen it. Tigers a couple of years ago beat the Panthers in Bathurst 13-12 in pouring down wet conditions. It can happen. So, like, I don't think anybody is disagreeing with that. It's not a consistent theme, though. It's not a consistent thing at all. But anybody on their day can beat anybody, technically. So this is unreported for Jacob Preston. Penalty to the Warriors, and I hope Chanel Harris-Avita is okay. 12-0 to the Bulldogs. 20 minutes gone. 20 minutes to go of the first half. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and don't forget we've got a massive game between the Broncos and the Cowboys right after this as well. That's a huge game. Corey Walker says, never give up hope, boys. Up the Waz. It's only 12-0 in 20 minutes, man. There's plenty of time here to turn this around. It's only 2 tries, and the Warriors on the attack. 6 again, 10 metres away from the line. Wade Egan to Aaron Clark. Aaron Clark, the 5 short ball here. Oh, that's so close here for Stowers Smith, but he'll be about 3 metres out in the end on second tackle. Wade Egan, he goes out the back here too. Tamati Martin off to Jacob Laban. And Laban, so close, 3 metres away from the line, third tackle. 3 metres away. They give it out the back to Aaron Clark. Here's Tamati Martin. Harris-Avita. Oh, drop ball from Alofiana Khan-Pereira. Just over the top of him. And the Bulldogs going to get this ball at the 10. at least we've been able to see Chanel Harris-Avita come in and be okay after that injury scare he just had. Rage says, wonder why many of the high position teams are struggling a lot at this time of the year. Well, it's not really a difference to what we usually see. You know, teams go through slumps. This is a prime time. This is usually when teams are going through slumps. You know, like at last year, I feel like the Raiders to get to 44 points showed there wasn't too much of a slump, but there was a slump at one stage, I feel. But like this is the perfect time to have a slump, and then you can pump home from round 21, round 22, round 23, and then that's when you really get it moving and grooving. I don't think this is too different to what we would typically see in a normal year. It's just that it's really difficult to remember the teams going through slumps at this point of the year and previous years on a specific, you know, team level. But I'm sure this wouldn't be too much of a difference to recent years. It's just that maybe this year is different. It's going to be 4 tackle over the Bulldogs to the 35. The only reason I'd say this year might be different is on the basis that nobody is currently putting their foot down saying I'm the best team in the comp. Currently nobody. And that's why I'll still will lean with the Panthers until proven otherwise. Nobody is currently in great form at the top end of the table that is saying we're going to win this comp this year. Titans women leading 22-6 at half time. Good stuff. The Titans women are killing it this year. Second tackle now for the Warriors, and they're going to get this ball to the 35 through Lofiana Khan-Pereira. Harris-Avita off to Dallin Watene-Zalesniak, and Watene-Zalesniak gets whacked in the tackle there from Stephen Crichton, but he gets the offload away, and now it's going to be Adam Pompey who brings it out to the 35 on third tackle. Kenny says, this is the best rugby league channel I've seen. So much more honest and knowledgeable than all the others I've seen. Great commentary. Appreciate you, Kenny. We do our best, man. Like I always say, you don't have to agree with me, but at the end of the day, I am telling you my honest opinion in regards to things. And if you disagree, feel free to use the chat in a respectful way, obviously. Great offload here from Aaron Clark. Wade Egan, now that's a penalty. Oh, close to be on the horizontal, but now it'll be fifth tackle here for the Warriors at the 42. Tane to our pick, Hugh Harris-Avita. As long as like everything is respectful, like always feel nearly a drop there from Jacob Kiraz, but he'll be taken down here at the 13 on first tackle. As long as everything is always respectful in regards to well-intentioned conversation. A lot of people will obviously go the rage bait route, obviously, and you will see rage bait from time to time. And some people will say things, that aren't intellectually honest with what's actually going on, just to get that reaction. But overall, we've got some great people here in this chat, and great people who watch on, and we have really good conversations overall. Stephen Crichton now is going to get this ball to the 40 on fourth tackle. Jaden says, I love how the Dogs finally realised they had a centre playing at 6 this whole time, then their solution is to replace him with another centre. That I agree with what you said there. Yeah, because I've said for years that I didn't think that Matt Burton was a 6 at all. But yeah, they did replace him with a 6. Stephen Crichton's been... Well, he had a good game against the Titans, but it was against the Titans. Wasn't exactly spectacular the other week against the Raiders when they lost 40-16, but the Raiders are playing some good footy at the moment. 56-10 win over the Tigers today. That was the Tigers. Crichton, we've only seen 2 games now? Is it 2 or 3 games where Crichton's been the 6 for the Bulldogs? Give it off to Leka Hadasima. No, that's not Leka Hadasima. That's Dimitri Vaimalga. No, hold on. What's that? No, I think that was Vaimalga. Fifth tackle now at the 45. They go to the left to Harris-Avita. Harris-Avita at the 40. He's going to whack this ball up. I'm just loving the intensity of this game, though. Connor Tracy's going to be taken out to 15 on first tackle. The Warriors are still slightly off the pace. They're a little bit better than what they were at the beginning part of this game. Penalty to the Bulldogs, though, as I say that at the 15. But the intensity of this game right now, you can feel it. It's feeling like a finals footy game. It's just the Warriors are still not quite there in terms of the pace of this game just quite yet. E4 Madeline says, do you think the Wires can bring this one back? It's only 12-0. There's still 56 minutes to go here in the game. Daniel Bates says, we don't show fatigue in our game. Rest is for tired people. Fun facts, the Storm are done, Mitchell, and it's incredibly satisfying indeed. The Storm are done. Yeah, they're not winning 5 out of their last 5. Storm are in desperation mode. Couldn't be more satisfying to see. Yeah, no, the Storm are done. They need to win 5 out of the remaining 5 games because they've got a bye. So with a bye, it's a negative for them at this point of the season compared to the Cowboys, where you could argue it's probably a positive at this point of the season, provided they beat the Broncos today. Because the Cowboys still need 3 wins to get to the 32 points, inclusive of their bye. They go to the left-hand side, and Viliami Kikau will be at the 45. You know who is a worry right now with their bye? Newcastle Knights. They have we've never seen a team with the round 27 bye actually make the finals. Knights aren't guaranteed quite just yet. They've still got to get the 2 wins to get to 13, which you should expect. But they do only have the 5 games remaining. They've got to win 2 of those. And then it will come down to also points differential. For tackle, Galvin kicks it across here. Probably not the play at all, but anyway, it'll be Taintua Picky who grabs it, and he's going to bring this ball out here to the 15 on first tackle. The Knights are in a bit of a precarious position right now. They need to win next week. They've got to get back into confidence, but they've also lost Dylan Brown, and they've lost Dylan Lucas in the space of yesterday's game. Canterbury obviously out. I don't know how long he's out for, but the Knights are actually in a very precarious position about whether they even make the 8 right now. They are. So third tackle, Mitchell Barnett at the 25, and he'll now bring this ball out to the 35 on fourth tackle. Fun facts is, forget a finals game. Imagine, penalty of the Warriors, huge. Massive. Penalty of the Warriors here at the 35. Forget a finals game. Imagine this matchup as a grand final. So I said this last year, fun facts. Everyone always asks me, like, who do I think is getting the grand final and whatnot, but a lot of people also ask me who would be my favourite grand final. And Broncos Sharks probably would have been it, but if you're looking at it from purely a commercial level and a financial level for the NRL and an interest level, I think Bulldogs Warriors would actually be the primetime grand final, in the sense of the Bulldogs fans are crazy, Warriors fans are crazy and massive because they've got an entire country behind them. Bulldogs haven't won it in over 20 years. The Warriors have never won it, and you'd get a whole country of New Zealand. You'd get a whole heap of people who hate the Bulldogs and getting around the wires. It would just be mental in terms of viewership levels. That's a high tackle penalty. Yep, penalty to the Warriors at the 30 on the Bulldogs side of the field. The Warriors are working their way back into this game. Deegan says that the Warriors have a chance of missing the top 4 like last year. So, sure, like they are a chance. Right now, if they lose this game, well, the Sharks, with a win tomorrow, would not get above them, but could be very close to them points differential wise, and also in terms of they'll be on the same amount of points. The Dolphins aren't too far behind, so it's just the points differential that's benefiting the Warriors. I think the Warriors are a guaranteed top 4, man. Wade Egan's going to get this ball here to the 10 on second tackle, but to answer your question, sure, yeah, they could still miss the top 4, but they're not playing anywhere near as bad as they did the back half of last year. Tamati Martin to Tanner Smith, and Tanner Smith is going to get this ball to the 7 on third tackle here. They roll it back into Wade Egan. Wade Egan at the back to Tamati Martin. Tamati Martin gets it across here. Chance for the Waz. Taken down to the 8. Good defense there from the Dogs. Fourth tackle, 8 metres away. Alofiana Khan-Pereira. He'll pass it back here to Chanel Harris-Tavita at the 15. Then off to Wade Egan. Out to Vaymalga. Tamati Martin. Short ball through the line. Jacob Laban taken down at the 7. Fifth tackle, knock on. Oh, bro, Warriors, you're right there. But the Bulldogs are defending quite well here. But the Warriors, Jacob Laban, will knock this ball onto the 8, and the Dogs are going to get this ball back at the 10. Artamani says, is this the first time we've seen Melbourne not make the top 8? Nope, 2010. What a satisfying dream for their downfall. That's another conversation. But in regards to your question, 2010, when they got done for cheating the cap, they came last. Yeah, 2010 was the last time, Bunnies, but that was because their points were stripped, rightfully so. Correct. We honestly don't even need to really bring that kind of stuff up. We can just say they came last because at the end of the day, they just did. But I guess you can put that stipulation. But then when people talk about the minor premiers of the Warriors, they don't really stipulate the fact that that was because the Dogs obviously had their points stripped off them that year. Second tackle at the 20. Bretton says, KP has been clear to play next week with Daniel Saifidi, but Sandon Smith has a big task ahead of him at 7. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Are you going to put Fletcher Sharp back to the 6? Surely. Oh, yeah, because Canterbury will be fullback. My question is, though, if Canterbury does miss another game, what happens? You put Fletcher Hunt to the fullback? Surely you've got to keep Sandon Smith and Fletcher Sharp in the halves. Fifth tackle now for the Dogs. They're going to be at the 38 on their own side of the field. Leo Thompson comes off for Josh Curran. And Stephen Crichton will put that ball up. Basic kick there. Goes to Taintua Picky at the 15. And he'll be able to bring it back to about the 30 or so, about 25 first tackle. Good work there by Viliami Kikau. Besides the 2010, the Storm also missed the top 8 in 2001, 2002. Yeah, see, I was 7 and 8 years old there, so I can't. It's so difficult to remember teams not making the 8 back then, but back here, I believe you. Third tackle now for the Warriors. They're going to be at the 48. Adam Pompey rolls it back to Wade Egan, then off to Tanner Smith, and he'll get this ball to the 45 on fourth tackle. 10 minutes to go the first half here, guys. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. 10 minutes to go the first half. Wade Egan with a nice little run there, trying to catch the 6 again. Couldn't get it, though. Harris-Tavita, quick passing. Lofiana Khan-Pereira down the left wing. He's away. Oh, good scramble from the Bulldogs at 33. They've just been really locking them up well here today. Harris-Tavita, he'll put that ball up high. And the Dogs will catch this at the 2. And Colin Tracy brings it out to the 13. Back to the 10. first tackle. Yeah, Hunt will go fullback, you would think, but Holbrook has been putting Sharp there, but I would have Hunt there and Gags back to centre. Holbrook's been putting Sharp there, but that's been because Kalapong has been out. But that's also because Dylan Brown's been there. So Sandon Smith is a guaranteed halfback. Now it's just the 6 and the 1 that you're thinking about. If Ponga gets in, there's no way. Because then who goes to the 6 if Sharp goes fullback and Ponga's out? All right, so the Bulldogs, Josh Curran at the back of the Stephen Crichton. Crichton now gets it to Lachlan Galvin, gets the offload away. Colin Tracy, they're back at the 30. And now at the 37 on fit tackle. Bulldogs haven't been making a whole bunch of meters since they went up that 12-0. It's a very intense game, though. And Lachlan Galvin, he will kick this one down here to the 20, where Tane Tuapiki, safe under the high ball today, gives it off here to Dallin Martinez-Lesniak. And Dallin is going to go out to the right. Oh, nearly gets away. He'll be at the 25 on first tackle. Nui is on struggle streak, but just another human. Honestly, who isn't on struggle streak? Who isn't? Name a team right now that you're confident behind. Because I can't. Obviously, we watch every game here on the channel, so I know how every team is playing, but I can't tell you who I'm significantly confident behind. 6 again here with the Warriors, and Fisher Harris brings the ball to the 45 at first tackle. The Sharks have won 7 out of their last 8 games, but also it's Cronulla. It's also Cronulla. So Viliami Kikau is going to come off the field here with a HIA, God bless him. But Warriors ball here, 45 metres out, first tackle. A good point. Who would go 6 makes sense. Sharp, definitely. You have to have Sharp and Sandon Smith as your 6 and 7 for the rest of the season. You'd have to. I mean, NRL says in no way should the Seagulls be 3rd in points conceded. No way, are they? Are they really? What? Mainly 347 points against? No way. Oh, I get what you mean. Sorry, I was thinking the opposite way. No, I agree with you. Yeah, that's absolutely a true thing to be saying. That's a crazy thought process. It just shows you how good of a run of form they had in the middle part of the year. Crossland. Well, Crossland's their 9, Skibby. Crossland's their 9. You wouldn't be changing. That would be just such a nice thing to do, though, to change their spine like that, but no way. Because then who do you put in the 9? Harrison Graham? I don't know if Harrison Graham's the 80-minute that you're looking for, but no, I'd be keeping your spine as intact as possible. You don't want to change your spine that much, especially halves, which has been a problem for the Knights since probably about 2020. I find the Gold Coast a very bougie city, to be fair. What? Yeah, man. Narang is a bougie place. Narang is super bougie. Second tackle now for the Warriors, and they're going to be at the 50. And they go to the left-hand side here, off to Vay Malgo, who gets the offload away to Tamati Martin. Tamati Martin gets it across now to Ali Leotawa, and Leotawa will be at the 4, back to the 50 on third tackle. Yeah, no, there was an ear split there. I didn't actually pick up who it was because I was talking at the time. God bless him, though. 4 tackling at the 43. Not a great set here from the Warriors. They go to the left-hand side to Tamati Martin. Tamati Martin at the back here to Harris Avita. Harris Avita's short ball. Kurt Catewell close to forward, but it's all right. Again, back to the 45, though. They've made no meters here. What is their meters? It would be like 15. 16-meter gain. That's an outrageously poor set there from the Warriors. Great defense from the Dogs. And they kick it up here. Crichton catches it at the 25. That was a really poor set from the Wars. Fun facts as well. The Warriors have not conceded 300 points. The Panthers are now the only team in the comp to have now conceded 300 points. The Panthers are now the only team in the comp to have conceded less than 300 points. You really are a fun fact stat man, aren't you? You really are. But yeah, the Panthers are the only team to not have conceded 300 points so far this season, and yet they're still 45 points behind it as well, mind you. They've only conceded 255 points this year. Now, fourth tackle, Jacob Preston, taking it up to 50. They're just talking about the HIAs right now. We don't know what the update is on regards to the HIAs just yet. Over the top here for Jethro Renakama. I want to tell you Lesniak come off his wing there. And Renakama will get taken down to the 30 on fit tackle. So he says, poor set, topped off with a poor kick and no contest. Yeah. The Warriors are just struggling to get in control of this game. And good kick. I think that's a knock on here from Colin Tracy. But Jacob Laban will pick this ball up at the 3. They'll bring it out to the 10. Casey says, why is no one from the Warriors chasing any chick? I think you mean chasing any kick. I'm sure the Warriors boys are probably chasing plenty of chicks, but in regards to them not chasing kick, yeah, they need... Well, Lecker's not had a great season, but Lecker's not even on the field right now. He's on the bench. I guess their back rowers aren't traditionally really known as massive kick chasers, Kurt Catewell and Jacob Laban, but yeah, they've got to turn up and do that. The best teams in the comp have the, elite kick chasers from the back row. Like, look at the Storm last year with Elias Katoa. He was so dangerous. Elias Katoa is one of the sad stories this year massively because, for the Storm especially, not just because of him as a human, but them as a team, they missed out so much in terms of him putting pressure on fullbacks and putting pressure on wingers, really chasing those high balls, and that's what you see. That's what you see from the big dogs. But 6 minutes to go here in the first half. The Bulldogs will get this ball at the 10 through Jacob Kiraz, and he'll bring it out now to the 20 on first tackle. Kenny says, question for later maybe. I'm interested to see who you all think might be the best British import you've seen. Don't feel you have to take the easy way out and pick a Wigan player, though. Yeah, I won't be taking a Wigan player because I don't know if they did play for Wigan in the first place. Third tackle here at the 33. In recent memory, you've probably got to go with Georgie Williams of the Raiders. Got him to a grand final in 2019. Georgie Williams was great. There's plenty of good English forwards over the years. Elliot Whitehead was really good. 1 second. Bulldogs taking it out to the 20. There's been some great forwards over the years. I'd probably go with Georgie Williams recently, but Sam Burgess obviously overall would be like the number one all time. Oh, Stephen Crichton just stabs that ball underneath. Oh, no way. Oh, Dogs are going to score here. No, they're not. Tain Tuapike's going to grab it. That was very close there from being a miracle from Crichton, but Tain Tuapike could get away here. Oh, it's an amazing tackle there from Harry Hayes at the 8. I tell you what, this Dogs team in the first half have played nearly perfect football. And they get the ball away here, though, to Monty Martin out to the right-hand side. They're away. Ali Leotau at the 20, the 25, the 30. He's still going here. No one's following him up, though. No one followed up Ali Leotau there. Second tackle at the 35. You had a player follow that up, and they could have been away for a try. But they'll get this ball offloaded. Wade Egan at the 40. At least they're throwing the ball around a little bit here, the Wires. And there's going to be a player down. And another HIA coming up here for, I think, a ball. Yeah, Josh Curran. He's going to come off here with a HIA. Is Herbie Farnworth a British import, though? No, he's not. Herbie Farnworth's played all of his career here. Herbie Farnworth is English. But it's like saying that AJ Brimson's a British import, but just because he's English, I wouldn't say that. Herbie Farnworth has been here since, he was 14 years old, 15 years old? He just missed out on the cut for Origin. That's how long he's been here for. I just wouldn't class that as a British import on the basis that he's been here for a very long time. It's not like he came from the Super League. I took that question as coming from the Super League. Actually, yeah, Sam Burgess then wouldn't be... if you were talking about just generally English, Herbie Farnworth's amazing right now, yeah, for sure. Fisher Harris will bring this ball to the 50, to the 45 on forward tackle on the border side of the field. And now Josh Curran will go with the HIA. Yeah, Burgess England... So are we talking about best English player ever, or are we talking about best, import? Because import, I would think of a player that's come from the Super League across. But if we're talking about best English player ever, it goes a whole heap of different ways. That's why I thought Georgie Williams was great in 2019. Elias Katoa was a very sad story, especially witnessing all that occurred on the day. Yeah, absolutely. Dimitri Vaimal will get this ball at 35. We were saying on stream last year when that was happening, we were like, why is he still on the field? You can see that he's just not right. Harris Avila is going to whack that ball up into the air. The Warriors will challenge it, but Kiraz, so strong, grabs the ball at the 10, and it's going to be first tackle for the Doggies. I took it as both Super League players and English players. Yeah, but that's a different question, because if it's English players, then you just remove Super League from the equation. Ellery Hanley back in the day, Balmain would have won the grand final. Terry Lamb didn't knock him out intentionally, Jason says. Third tackle now. A lot of people here wouldn't remember that. Third tackle. At the 24, 3 minutes to go here. Bailey Hayward to Max King. Geez, you wouldn't really have too many complaints without a Bulldogs team of play today. Tain Tuapike has come off the field injured here, guys. God bless him. Penalty to the Dogs at the 33. These halftime stats are going to be crazy. James Graham, fantastic player, Jess. But a penalty here to the Dogs at the 33. Vaimalga gives it away. I think they're challenging. They're challenging this, the Warriors. They're challenging this. Adrian Morley, yeah. So the Warriors are challenging this. Dimitric's right leg Oh, he does put his knee back into the ruck. Yeah, no, he's done that intentionally. That's an intentional one. His right knee has moved forward there. It didn't need to move forward like that. It's an unsuccessful challenge. I don't know why Demetrius challenged that. He knows full well that he's put his knee forward there. Yeah, Wires have got dominated in every way this half. Yeah, the Bulldogs have had their way with the Wires in this first half. There's just... The Warriors had a chance to really work their way into this game a couple of times, but they just either threw the ball over the sideline in the attacking 10 or they knocked the ball on, and the Bulldogs have been able to pounce. And the Bulldogs haven't scored many points, but they don't typically score points. They'd be happy to win this game 12-0. Not because it's a win anyway, but that's just the way the Bulldogs do like to play. So first tackle here for the Doggies at the 40. Second tackle, sorry. Bailey Hayward to Lachlan Galvin. Jacob Preston at the 35 on third tackle. This half has been a bit embarrassing from the Wires. I just think it's been so dominant from the Bulldogs. I wouldn't even be saying it's embarrassing from the Warriors. I just think it's been the third tackle. They kick this ball down here. And, Nickel Clockstad, who's on the field. He might get away here, Nickel Clockstad. He gets away from a couple of tackles. He's still going out at the 13. Great work from Charles Nickel Clockstad. You're lucky you had him on the bench to come in for Tane Tuapiki. But Charles Nickel Clockstad saves a try there. Really big gamble from the Bulldogs, but the Warriors get away with it. They go to the left-hand side. And it will be... Vane Malga brings this ball to the 25. No, I think that's actually... No, that was Leah Tower. And now they'll bring it out through Adam Pompey to the 35 and 4 tackle. I don't think this is more an embarrassment from the Warriors. I just think this has been a really good showing from the Bulldogs. Fifth tackle now for the Warriors at the 40. I tell you, this has been a very dominant half from Canterbury. Out of the left, Kurt Kate. Well, they're running this on fifth. Out to Lothiana Caprera. He'll get taken down to the 45. That's awful from the Warriors. That wasn't good there from the Warriors at all. Lothiana Caprera will get taken down at the 45, and that was just a really rough one to see there, and the Bulldogs are going to get prime opportunity. And yeah, I agree with the commentary here. Field goal is very much in play on this set for the Bulldogs. Up by 12, 46 seconds to go. They're going to be within range. I would say that a field goal is absolutely in play right this very second. So the Bulldogs are second tackle at the 40. They roll back to Bailey Hayward. They give it to Lachlan Galvin. Galvin underneath Jacob Preston. They don't even have to worry about the 7 tackle set because there's only 30 seconds left here. Jacob Preston rolls it back to Bailey Hayward. Off to Galvin. Galvin now Crichton. Crichton gets this ball across. And Dogs will luckily not knock that ball on. 4 tackle at 35. Don't give away a penalty there, Dallin. Jeez, that would have been the worst case scenario. Stephen Crichton. No, Crichton. That was awful. You had to set up for it. That's one of the worst kicks you're ever going to see. That was awful. And the Warriors will get this ball at 25. And luckily they won't get that field goal. I don't know what that was from Crichton. That was awful. Fisher Harris. And he'll just get taken out at 25. What a first half there from the Bulldogs. What a first half there from the Bulldogs. So I'm going to reply to this comment before I get into the stats here. Walter says it's not over yet. Second half is their strength. So it's not over yet. You're absolutely right. I have had this debate before in terms of someone that's come in here. I think it was Tiger Hood. Someone came in here saying that the Warriors are one of the best second half teams in the comp. It's actually not quite true with what you're saying there. But if you can go back through, get the stats for me and come back in the chat and let me know why that's incorrect, that'd be great. Because I'm going to go through the stats here of this game here at halftime. I would love for you to prove me wrong in regards to that, but it's not actually quite true in terms of the Warriors being an amazing second half team. However, I do agree with you. This game is still well and truly on. It's only 12-0. It's only 2 tries in it, but that was a clinical performance there from the Dogs. That was a very, very good performance there from the Dogs in that first half. Fun fact is, this is the first time this season the Warriors have been held scoreless for an entire half. That's crazy. Yeah, exactly right. So let's go through these stats and let's go through this masterclass because honestly, it was a masterclass, especially in terms of defense. The Dogs were, wow, actually, it's actually crazy that I'm completely wrong there on the effective tackle percentage. But anyway, let's get into the stats. So the Bulldogs 12, Warriors 0. This is the core stadium in Sydney. Tries Stephen Crichton and Jacob Preston with 2 from 2 from the conversions for the Bulldogs. Obviously, the Warriors did not score. Possession-wise, 53% possession for the Bulldogs, 47% possession for the Warriors. Slightly in favour of the Dogs there, and you've definitely noticed it. Now, time of possession, 16 minutes and 16 seconds from the Dogs, 14 minutes and 38 seconds for the Warriors. This is elite footy here. This is the kind of low-scoring grind that you love. We've seen plenty of low-scoring games games recently that have been absolutely dribble to watch, whether that be the Bulldogs versus Manly or Bulldogs versus Eels. Funny that it's the same team coming up there. Or whether it be Knights versus Tigers. They've been dribble games to watch. But when you look at the time of possession here, it'll prove it to you, because 25 minutes is what you look for good footy. You want to see 25 minutes of time of possession for it to be healthy. Well, this is 16, 14, 30 minutes, 38, 16, 54. It's essentially 31 minutes of gameplay through that 40-minute half that you've got. So 25 is what you're looking for. You've got 31 minutes there, basically. That is amazing. And that's why this game is showing the intensity that it is, because it is just constantly just going and going and going. And that comes to the low tries. And both teams defensively here, when we look at these effective tackle percentages, are actually really, really poor. But we'll get to that in a second. Completion rate, 80% is what you're looking for. Bulldogs, 91%, 21 from 23. That is electric. That is unbelievable. You're very happy with that. Warriors, 85%. Very good quality. 18 from 21. Both these teams are completing at a really good rate here. So the quality of this game is not missing. This is actually a quality game. The Warriors are just struggling for the attack right now. And the Bulldogs aren't even attacking amazingly, but they did have those 2 quick tries. But completion rate, time of possession is showing you this is a quality game. You go to the runs, 98 runs for the Bulldogs. You're looking for 980 metres here, which would represent 10 metres on average per run. They're at 872. So they are 108 metres behind the 10 metres on average per run that you're looking for. That is slightly out of the range of where you want to be. You want to be at least on the negative side, within 100 or obviously above, but they're just slightly outside of that 100-metre range, and they're at 872 from 98 runs. Still okay, but it's not great. And then you go to the Warriors, who are at 92 runs, so you'd be looking for 920 metres here, and they're at 757 run metres. So that means that they are 163 metres behind the 10 metres an average per run that you're looking for. So the Warriors are quite far behind where they need to be, and the Dogs are still quite far behind where they need to be, but the Dogs are still getting more movement with the ball when they've got it. It's now 99 for 874, which is now 116 metres behind it. So they're not too far off in regards to what they're doing with the ball, but the Bulldogs are still the ones with the more run metres technically, and also they are still getting a little bit more with the ball when they've got it as well. Then you go to the post-contact metres. Now it's 101 runs for 887, so that's gone back to 123 run meters behind now. Post-contact meters, 295 here for the Bulldogs, 237 for the Warriors. Very low from the Warriors, considering 92 runs, very low. 299 run post-contact meters now for the Bulldogs. They're going to get to 300, you would assume. If you ever hit 300 as a success, I would still give this as a success, but 102 runs, you definitely would like to be seeing over 300. But I'm not going to say it's disappointing, because they're basically at 300 post-contact, and that's always a success. You move now to the line breaks. 3 line breaks for the Dogs. That's a lot. 0 for the Warriors. They didn't break the line once. Tackle breaks. A whopping 21 for the Dogs and a whopping 22 for the Warriors. Both teams have been missing plenty of tackles here. Now, average set distance, 25 metres and below is pathetic. Turn the stream off. 25 to 30 is disgusting. 30 to 35 is underwhelming. 35 to 40 is hitting the marker. 40 to 45 is great. 45 to 50 is fantastic. And 50 plus is basically perfect. 39.65 here for the Bulldogs is upper end of doing the job, hitting the marker. It is a solid rate. It's not amazing, but it's a solid rate. The Warriors are also in that same category. Bulldogs have now just updated to 40.02. They are into the great category now slightly. The Warriors are at 36.05. So 4 metres behind the Bulldogs right now. It is a decent little gap in rugby league. They are at the low to mid-range of doing the job. It's still a solid category, but it's not quite where the Bulldogs are at, but they're both at least completing at a decent enough rate on the average set distance. And then we go to the average play the ball speed. 3.19 seconds and below is extremely fast. 3.2 to 3.39 is fast. 3.4 to 3.59 is average. 3.6 to 3.79 is slow. And 3.8 and above is extremely slow. The Bulldogs are at 3.52 seconds here, which is average. It's a normal speed. Warriors, very speedy. Very, very speedy here at 3.15 seconds. That is extremely fast. Very, very fast there. And that is a gap of 0.10, 0.20, 0.35, 0.37. 0.37 of a second, which is quite a significant gap here between the two. So the Warriors are playing the ball very, very fast. They're just not getting really too much going with the attack, which is what I've been saying for weeks now. And then you go over to the Bulldogs, where they're just getting a normal play the ball speed, but obviously it is working out for them so far. I'll appreciate that in a second, Eliza. Offloads, 13 for the Bulldogs is really high. 7-8 is high. 13 is massive, and that's what's killing the Warriors here. While 6 offloads for the Warriors is getting up there. It's definitely getting really close to the high range. You go to the kick defusal, 100% here for the Bulldogs, 43% for the Warriors. Wow, Bulldogs, 100%. You go to the effective tackle percentage, and effective tackle percentage, 85% and below is awful, 85% to 88% is underwhelming, 88% to 90% is hitting the marker, and 90% and above is essentially perfect. 85.1% here for the Dogs. It actually was originally at 83% just a few moments ago, but 85.1% on an effective tackle percentage is not good. It's underwhelming and extremely close to a disgusting category. 177 tackles made is in the typical range of 160 to 180. 22 missed tackles is very high. 15 to 17 is the average. That's 5 above the missed tackles range. And then the ineffective tackles is 9, which is 2 above the average of 5 to 7. So that's 31 bad tackles in a typical range of 177. That's not good enough. So the Dogs are actually missing a ridiculous amount of tackles here, and they're making a ridiculous amount of ineffective tackles for an average range of tackles made. Very underwhelming. But the Warriors, they're at 83.85%. That's the awful category. They're missing plenty of tackles and a whopping amount of ineffective tackles here. 218 tackles made is a mozza. That is 40 above the typical range of 38 above the typical range of 160 to 180. 218 tackles made. Missed tackles is 21, which is above the typical range of 15 to 17. That's understandable with that amount of tackles made. What's not understandable is the ineffective tackles of 21. That is insane. 5 to 7 is the average. 21 ineffective tackles is never understandable unless you're making 350 tackles made. They're at 218. That's a ridiculous stat there. So you've just seen in 40 minutes of play, the Warriors have made 42 bad tackles with an above average 218 tackles made, but 42 bad tackles is more than a bad tackle per minute, and that's why they're at 83.85%. That's not good enough at all. That's in the awful category. Luckily for them, the Dogs have been defending on an underwhelming, extremely underwhelming level in this game as well. You go to the errors, 3 and below is really good, 4 to 6 is average, and 7 above is awful. Well, 4 errors for the Dogs and 4 errors for the Warriors. That's in the average category on the lower end. You wouldn't be too upset with that. It's obviously not great because it's not in the great category, but 4 errors is not that bad overall. Penalties conceded, 3-3. Ruck infringements, 1-1. Inside 10 metres, 1-0 against the Dogs, and 1-0 on report. Indiscretions-wise, this is only 7-6 to the Dogs. No, sorry, not 7-6 to the Dogs. It is 5-4 to the Dogs. Like, they're both giving away the same amount of penalties, and the ruck infringements and inside 10 metres are pretty much the same. So there's no clear leader there. The errors, there's no clear leader. Defensively, ultimately, there is no clear leader, even though the Dogs slightly improve on them. Kick defusal, obviously, all Dogs. Speed of the play the ball is definitely Warriors. Average set distance is now for the Warriors up to 39.6 and Dogs are at 41.1, so still very, very close there. Line breaks is obviously massively in advantage of the Dogs. Warriors now are getting up closer with the run meters of 101 to 831, whilst the Dogs are at 108 for 945 with the updates. Both teams completing a really good rate and plenty of time and possession. I'm telling you, this is a great game. This is a really good game. It's a really good game that could still go either way. But the thing is, the Bulldogs looked brilliant in that first half. So first I'm going to say thank you, Eliza Flawless, for donating the one gift of membership to Rice Zen. You're a legend. Thank you very much for the support. But, the Bulldogs played a fantastic game on the eye test in that first one. Their attacks were probably a little bit lacking, but they played a fantastic first half, which I wouldn't complain about at all. The stats didn't necessarily reflect how dominant that first half was for the Dogs. But the Warriors were now at 3.12 on the play the ball speed. They're still in this game. This game is nowhere near over. It's only a 2-try game, 2 converted try game, and it just comes down to who wants it more. 2 tries, not that much of a difference. 2 tries is not much of a difference here, and Warriors, you've just got to really come out and show that you've got that tap, because the Bulldogs right now, again, they're at 85.1% on the effective tackle percentage. That's not good, but yet they kept it at 0. They kept it at 0. And this is the same team that the Bulldogs lost last week, 40-16 to the Raiders. 40-16 to the Raiders. Andrew says the offload's killing the Warriors. They are. Webby says, why do the Bulldogs have to play well against the Wars? Yeah, the Bulldogs, they are playing well today, man. But this is what happened. Guys, at this point of the season, this is what you have to expect. The Bulldogs are desperate to make the finals. They could be in the finals by the end of today. There'd still be one win behind the Cowboys, but they would be above them if the Bulldogs won by, say, 20. If they won by 12-0, and if the Cowboys lost the Broncos by 22, you would see that the Bulldogs would go above the Cowboys there into the top 8. So you're playing a team right now that is desperate. Whilst the Warriors, they're not actually desperate for a top 8. They're playing for a minor premiership. They're playing for a top 4 spot. But the desperation isn't there. And the Bulldogs we've seen in recent years, they have it in them. They just haven't been great this year. So you've got to expect this at this point of the season. And also, at the end of the day, the Warriors should be a lot better than this. They are second position for a reason. They're third now because the Roosters won last night. But they're second position for a reason on their own merit. But I tell you what, that top 4 is stuttering. They are stuttering right now for sure. Fun fact is, after seeing how the Warriors performed against the Dragons and the Tigers the last 2 weeks, it doesn't surprise me they've fallen victim to the ambush from the Bulldogs. Yeah, this will be a bit of an ambush, especially after the Dogs, the way they played last week. Terminok says, I'm scared shitless of that Warriors-Titans game. I don't even think you should be thinking about that game just yet, man. I think you should be winning and worrying about this game as we currently speak. They're down 12-0 at half time. But yeah, obviously a little bit of a bogey there. Andrew says, they don't seem to be bending the Bulldogs' line. Let's hope they make some tweaks in the next half. Absolutely. Terminok says, Lecker won't play, then Egan would have to play the whole game. Why is Lecker on the outer at the Warriors, by the way? I know he's not been unbelievable this year, but why is Lecker on the outer at the Warriors? I've been quite confused by that throughout this season. I've been, quite confused by that throughout this season. But yeah, no, he has not been. He's definitely not been at the forefront of. He has not been at the forefront of the Warriors' minds for the entire season so far. Deegan says, love the Tweedheads hat, mate. Yeah, get rid of the Tweedheads Seagulls. Obviously, I'm a Titans fan, man, so I want to represent... obviously, we've got the Titans-Dragons game tomorrow, which I'll be wearing Titans beanie for, but I'm actually currently... Because I'm currently in Kazakhstan, for people who don't know. Obviously, most people do. I've been looking for a Kazakhstan hat that, like what the one that we got for Vietnam that looked really cool. But I can't find it here. This isn't really a tourist country, so you can't really find anything like that from where I've been going, so I'm going to try and find something tonight. But no, I'll get around the old gullies, the old Tweedhead Seagulls. Andrew says, Webby seems to be only using Lecker in the last 20 minutes since he returned. Yeah, I agree. Eric says, Warriors just don't want it. Man, there's still 40 minutes to go here, man. Let's see if they want it or not in the second half. Rage says, Sharks fans and massive doggy supporters today. Yeah, the Sharks are definitely... Sharks, Dolphins... they'd definitely be, hugely backing in the Dogs in this one because the Sharks aren't going to be worried about the old doggies down there. They could end up, if they lost to Manly tomorrow, they could end up starting to get a little bit concerned. But overall, they just need 2 wins. But at this point of the season, honestly, who really cares? You wherever you come at the end of 27 rounds is where you deserve to come. Kimmy Dude says, terrible first half, but we're not out of it. Could Metcalf ignite something for the Warriors? I just don't think there'd be any point. One, Metcalf is not known as an attacking half. But also, 2, I just don't see the purpose of putting Metcalf in. I don't know what the purpose would be, especially considering he's off to the Dragons next year. This is your halves pairing for the rest of the year. I wouldn't be chancing the arm. I would not be chancing the arm at all right now. By the way, Warriors now plus 190. Sharks would want the Warriors to lose by a bit more than this, though. Because the Sharks are plus 125, so currently it's still a 75-point gap. No, 65-point gap between the Sharks and the Warriors. Roosters are the most fraudulent second-place team of all time. I don't disagree, Mitchell, but again, the Warriors could be up there. And I'd say the Roosters have been more fraudulent recently, even though they've still been winning their games. Mitchell says, I bet that bloke that went to sleep is happy. Yeah, he was saying that Volkanovski's never disappointed him like the Warriors have. So, well, it wouldn't be that he's necessarily happy. He just doesn't know that he would be unhappy right now. But again, big second half is still to come. By the way, Manly, you will drop out of the top 9 with the Bulldogs win here. You will, and you'll need to beat the Sharkies. Otherwise, you will go to 10th position. 10th position if you don't beat the Sharkies tomorrow, and the Dogs do find a way to win this game. So, Manly fans, you should be chipping down the absolute guzzler for the old Warriors to win this game. And those teams on the edge of the 8, not that the points differential really worries with the Bulldogs with the minus 81 now, minus 69. No, they're minus 70 now. They're minus 58. Well, Raiders, if the Dogs could go on with this game. Second half started here, guys. Thumbs up, subscribe. Warriors with the ball at the 30. Raiders, you're within range of potentially going back below the Dogs if they win by enough here. So third tackle for the Warriors, the 40. How's the cuisine been? Kazakhstan? It's all meaty, bro. Meat. I love it, though. It's been really good over here. Fourth tackle here at the 50. 12 points is nothing. Warriors are going to win. 12 points isn't nothing with the way the Bulldogs played that first half, but also 12 points is nothing in the sense of like 2 tries is really not hard to accumulate. 1 try turns into 1 more try needed. Like it really is nothing in that sense. But with the way the Bulldogs have played here, knock on down on Martinez Lesniak, the way the Bulldogs have played, it's a lot so far. Deegan says, Warriors and Bulldogs played a similar game a couple of years ago where the Bulldogs won in Golden Point. Probably, yeah, I'm sure they probably did. I can't think of it right now, though. 53 likes, hit the button. Yeah, smash the thumbs up button, Shauna says. Seb Watson says, 1 half of footy for a face tattoo. Third tackle. A Bulldog on the face. That was last year. That was last year. Now I remember the game. Yeah, no, I remember that one now. And Matt Burton kicked the field goal, didn't he? I think Burto kicked the field goal. Wasn't that a controversial game? I can't remember. Fifth tackle now at the 40 for the Doggies. And Bailey Hayward will go left-hand side to Stephen Crichton. And Crichton now will kick this ball to about the 15. Dallin drops the ball. And Josh Curran's going to get it. And Josh Curran's going to score. Wow. Bulldogs 16-0 with a kick to come. Warriors, I don't know what that was just then. Dallin drops the ball. And the Warriors are in a mess right now. The Warriors are in an absolute mess as we currently speak. The Warriors are going to get done over there with Dallin Watene-Lesniak dropping the ball. And it's just going to be picked up by Curran, and Chance gets done over there as well. That's a soft try to be given up. That is a soft try to be given up there. Great stuff at the second half, Sean says. Not if you're a Warriors fan, that's for sure. Not if you are a Warriors fan. What is this one? Oh, no, this might be no try. This might be a no try here, lads. Adam G is going up the bunker. They're looking at Matt Burton here, maybe not playing at the ball. Matt Burton's actually going to hit him. Yeah, he's not even contesting for it because he turns his shoulder while the ball's coming down. This is a no try. You're lucky, Warriors. You're lucky. He has his hands up, but he is turning away from the ball. It's not a genuine attempt. It's a correct call. It's a no try. So correct call. It's a no try here. Sean says she's a wanker. It's the correct call. Matt Burton turns his body away from the ball as the ball's still coming down, which shows that he's not intending to go for the ball, and then impacts Dallin Watene-Lesniak. So it's going to be Warriors ball here at the 30. That fraud load is looking very tasty right about now. Yeah, it's looking tasty as we currently speak. It is. It's looking tasty. Reese says score, please. Reese, my bro. It's on the screen in front of you, man. Like, the score is literally right in front of you, my man. What do you mean, score, please? So his second tackle for the Warriors, and now Dimitri Vaimaoga will bring it out to the 50 on third tackle. As a Bulldogs fan, it's the correct call. Yeah, exactly right. He's clearly turning his body away as the ball is coming down. And now be fourth tackle here at the 45. Oh, yeah, okay, footy tack. So fourth tackle at the 42. Wade Egan gets the offload away to Kurt Catewell. And Kurt Catewell now be at 35. Oh, sorry, bro, here in Brisbane. No, you're fine. I'm just saying the score's on the screen, man. What does you in Brisbane have anything to do with it? And the red and right, Dallin Watene-Lesniak. Oh! Connor Tracy's taking him over the sideline before he's got the try. It's going to be 10 metres out for the Dogs. What does you being in Brisbane have anything to do with it, Reese? But Dallin's so close to scoring a try, but Connor Tracy comes across and breaks the Warriors fans' heart. He goes over the sideline. Oh, boy. So close there for Dallin. Oh, Tracy. He was just able to stop him last second. So 12 minutes Broncos thing. Yeah, makes sense. Up the NRL W Titans. Yeah, I heard they've been pretty good to watch. I heard they've, they won obviously big last week. I heard they're getting a good win today. 28-6 over the Cows. Beautiful, son. Beautiful. Get around the Titans, women. Get around him. Marcus says no support. What do you mean no support? He was the winger, and there's no way they could get the ball back onto the inside there anyway. You can't have support in that situation, really. Second tackle. The man who passed him the ball was still there, but like they got him down the wing. Good hit there from the Warriors. Third tackle. For you, Connor Tracy's actually been decent since returning from injury. I was so off him 2 months ago. Penalty to the Dogs. Penalty to the Dogs at the 30 on the Dogs' side of the field. Yeah, Connor Tracy was... All Dogs fans were completely off him. I was defending him. I was like, Connor Tracy isn't bad. He's just not amazing, but he's not bad. But I can understand why Dogs fans were completely off him then, but I never thought he was really bad. It's just he wasn't playing fantastic, which the whole team wasn't. Oh, 1 second. Foot injury for Tane Tuapiki. He's out for the rest of the game. Oh, okay, now they're talking about coaches. But Tane Tuapiki's out for the rest of the game with that foot injury. So second tackle now for the Doggies. They're going to be at the 32. They go to the right to Josh Curran, and Josh Curran will be at the 23 now on third tackle. Ruled out with a foot, though, Tane Tuapiki. It's a big loss. I know they've got chance there, but still a big loss there of Tuapiki. Matty Burton. Oh, he's fighting hard, but he'll be 1 metre short of the line for tackle. Bulldogs, Viliami kick out. He doesn't go for a scoot. They give it off to Stephen Crichton, to Bailey Hayward. Hayward to Curran to Galvin. Galvin short ball to Jacob Preston. You know that's coming. Fifth tackle now at the 13. 34 minutes left here in this game. Warriors, you don't want to be the ones to concede the next try. Fifth tackle, Stephen Crichton puts that one across here. Great kick there for Renakama. Oh, but it'll be taken down. Gets the offload away. On the ground, though. Oh, I would consider... Did that pass not come from the ground there, though, referee? Did that pass not come off the ground just now from the Dogs? It's going to be classed as a knock-on here from the Warriors at the 5. So Renakama grabs it. Oh. The pass is off the ground, though. But... Like, that's passed off the ground. Yeah, it's off the ground there, Michael. Should have been a penalty to the Warriors there. Please don't downplay it. Connor Tracy was the worst fullback in the league for 3 weeks straight. No, I can promise you there's been worse. They go to the right-hand side. They're going over... Oh, no, it's going to score, Jacob Kiraz. I think that was a pass off the ground, but either way, the Doggies are going to score here, and they're going to make it 16-0 to kick to come. Couple of bad calls, Nikhil says. Yeah, that's a rough one. Oh, that's a rough one. Like, the Dogs will score, and they are up 16-0. I do think that was pass off the ground, though. Come on, someone, I need at least 33 points in my accumulator. Every so close is killing me. Well, this one's not so close. This one is a try for Jacob Kiraz. The Warriors are doing this themselves. Well, yeah, the Dogs are playing quite clearly better. But with that being said, yeah, the Warriors are struggling to get a hold of the game. How'd they let him score that? Yeah, it was way too easy there for Jacob Kiraz. Was Rob? Don't start it, Seb. Please don't. Loffy completely jams in there, and that's what leaves Jacob Kiraz completely open. His back is fully on the ground. Yeah, no, it should have been a penalty to the Warriors for a pass off the ground, but like either way, the Warriors haven't been good enough so far. Don't know about that. It looked off the ground. Yeah, it was definitely a pass off the ground. It was definitely a pass off the ground. Watch, Warriors fans are going to blame that call for why they lost this game instead of admitting their players kept shooting themselves in the feet. Well, Nikhil is a Warriors fan. He's saying the Warriors are doing this to themselves. Has Metcalf had a run yet? Buzz says, I don't think Metcalf comes on the field. Metcalf is, I guess, only there really for depth on the bench there because, missed kick, say 16-0. A bad kick there from Crichton. You know, it's a weird one because Metcalf's off to the Dragons next year, so what would really be the purpose of playing him in this game? But again, it's proving correct in terms of the Warriors' struggling attack with Tamati Martin and Harris Tavita. Reese's Warriors have been so good, though. What? Are we watching the same? What, Reese? No, you're not even watching this game, Reese. What do you mean the Warriors have been so good, though? What do you mean? You're not even watching this game. You asked me what the score was like 5 minutes ago. Nikhil, I said banana skin looked like we started slipping for the first 10 minutes. Yeah, well, the Bulldogs came in with the right intensity and the right attitude in the first 10 minutes. Metcalf is 20. Metcalf is on the bench. That doesn't mean that he's going to get on. You can only use 4 players on the bench, and you're probably only going to see Metcalf if there's an injury to the halves. I don't think that Metcalf comes on. So Bulldogs, Jethro Renakama, he'll bring this ball out to the 25 now on second tackle. Who is the Malacca in the crowd with his shirt off, Brendan says? That'd be Daz, mate, yeah. That would be Daz, mate. That would be Daz, mate. Third tackle now at the 35. Bailey Hayward to Josh Curran. And Josh Curran, he'll get this ball to the 45 now on fourth tackle. Kippy Dudes, it's hard to say as a Warriors fan, but I'm calling this game. We haven't done anything to show we can come back. You're calling this game's crazy, but if you're not the next team to score, sure. Like, you need to score before probably... in the next 10 minutes, I would say. You'd need to score in the next 10 minutes to get back into this game. Technically, you could score. It's like if you score one try before the 10th minute, like 10 minutes to go mark, you could easily... oh, that's a strip from Viliame Kikau. Penalty to the Warriors. Okay, do something. 30 minutes to go of the game here, folks. That thumbs up button, subscribe. I will... like, 2 tries in the final 10 minutes is not out of this equation. I get where you're coming from. I just think you need to score a try in the next 20 minutes at the very least. At the very least. But 30 minutes to go. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Again, all top 8 teams really not playing great. Who will stand up? Well, I disagree in regards to the Sharks. They've still won 7 out of 8 of their games. Then again, the Sharks did, kind of struggle last week, but they got over the line. They won 66-0 the week over. Probably the best team in form right now is actually probably Cronulla, but I just don't trust them. Somebody Martin Fisher-Harris, he bounces off of Jacob Preston. And Fisher-Harris now will get taken down at the 40 on second tackle. But yeah, no one... oh, that's another penalty of the Warriors here. Massive. Oh, Fisher-Harris. Someone throw an uppercut. Curran and Fisher-Harris here. Someone throw an uppercut. Smack him! Smack him! Smack him! Biffo. Biffo on the field. 16 points is the end. The way the Warriors have been playing, they have no chance. Guys, we're getting ridiculous. Like, I don't know if the Warriors can come back from this, but with that being said, the confirmed status of game is over is crazy right now. 40 days, his last comment for the night, but just want to say it's been 145 minutes of game time since the last try was scored against the Bulldogs. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. But they go to the left-hand side, but wait, no, that's not true. Oh, no, well, who'd they play last week? It was 32-0 against the Tigers. You played the Tigers. But sure, they go to the right-hand side. Charles Klokstad, and Klokstad will be getting the offload away at the 25 to Leotawa, and Leotawa beat the 15 on second tackle. You gave up plenty of points on that Raiders game 2 weeks ago, though, 40 dad. So it will be Jacob Laban now. He'll be 10 metres away from the line, third tackle. They roll it back. Things can change quickly in rugby league. They score here. It's still game on. Tony Martin, short ball. Kirk Catewell, 5 metres out from the line, 4 tackle. You've got to be quick here, though, Warriors. You've got to be clinical. Wade Egan rolls it back out to Tamani Martin. What the hell was that? And the Bulldogs get the ball to 5. That was awful. That was an awful pass there from Tamani Martin, and the Dogs have come away with it. That is just so poor, what we just saw from Tamani Martin. Second tackle for the Dogs at 25. Conceding last week would have been embarrassing. That's true, Mitchell. That is true. Well, I was going to start my screen next. Yeah, if they concede next, it's definitely done, Rob. Luai-esque. Yeah, no, that was a Luai-esque pass, that one for sure. Third time must have learned it against the Tigers last week. Leo Thompson, Viliame Kikau, out to Matty Burton. Burton now with a great run to the 45 on the Warriors side of the field. Oh, no, Wade Egan's down injured here. Oh, no, he can't even move his right leg. Oh, that's a penalty. It's a penalty. It's unintentional, but it is a penalty. Wade Egan is injured right now, and they've thrown the ball into him, and it's a penalty. Yep. Oh, dude. Yeah, it is a penalty. It's so unlucky for the Warriors, but Wade Egan, I don't know if this is a cramp here. God bless him. I hope he's okay. I don't think this is a cramp, though. But I hope it is just a cramp. I really do. I hope it is. But Wade Egan's probably going to have to come out of this game. So it's going to be Sam Healy then, I guess, who's going to have to come on. Going to have to be Sam Healy. And that'll be their last sub because they've used Dimitri, they've used Hurstauer Smith, they've used Chance. They haven't used Healy, Halasima, or Metcalf. They've only got one more they can use, so Sam Healy will be the last one. Samuel, do you think the 6 agains lead to more injuries? Well, the second half of this season, we've seen a far less amount of 6 agains. The first half of the season was when all the 6 agains were happening. So all these injuries happening right now are because of 6 agains. Because the 6 agains are not happening anywhere near as much as they were. Yeah, this round has been a brutal round for injuries. Really brutal round for injuries. So the Bulldogs, Leo Thompson's going to be at the 20 on first tackle. Did Bailey pass it into him on purpose? Is that okay if he did? No, if he did that on purpose, then it shouldn't have been a penalty. It actually is a penalty against you for doing that. But I didn't get to see if it was intentional or not. Yeah, great play if he did. No, but if you do it intentionally, they get done for a penalty. Harry Grant ensured that, I think last year or the year beforehand. Bailey Hayward gives it off here to Galvin. And then it's going to be Josh Curran who gets his ball to the 5 on 4 tackle. Actually, I don't think it might not be a penalty, but it just is. The ball stays with whoever gets it. Fifth tackle now for the Doggies. 3 metres away. Josh Curran to Lachlan Galvin. Galvin now puts this ball up into the air. Renakama comes through. Renakama knocks on. Reese's Warriors are 3rd on the leaderboard, but Bulldogs are 9th. Well, okay, for starters, the Bulldogs are actually in 11th. With a win here, they would go up into 9th. But also, this is rugby league, Reese. Like, what are we saying here? Are you saying, like, just because the Warriors are in 3rd/2nd, that, like, this should have just been an easy game? It was never going to be an easy game. It's incredibly difficult against a team that's fighting for the top 8. They're still professional players, and this Bulldogs team is arguably more consistent across the last couple of years as well. It's just that this year's been down, but this isn't like a crazy surprise. Leka Halasema's actually come on the field here. Halasema, so Wade Egan is okay, so it might have just been a cramp. It might have just been a cramp there. So 4 tackle here for the Warriors, and they're going to be at the 45. Wade Egan out to Fisher Harris, and Fisher Harris gets an offload away to Harris Tavita. He's lost that ball there. Oh, no, they'll get the offload away at the back. I thought he lost it, but Tamati Martin, nearly got through. 5th tackle now at the 42. 5th tackle at the 42. And they'll kick this ball up high. It'll come down around the 20. Knocked back here. Or is it knock on from the... it's a penalty, yeah. Yeah, Dogs knock on. Penalty to the Warriors. Here's a great attacking opportunity. You have to get something going soon. Robert says Anthony Milford passed it back. Anthony Milford being brought up on the channel. I didn't expect that today. Anthony Milford passed it backwards a metre into a play like 4 years ago. He started the well, maybe it could be Milford then, but I just know that Harry Grant's been done for it many times. many times. I just wasn't expecting Anthony Milford's name to get brought up here. And, well, that's just a knock on here from Adam Pompey. Well, it definitely is a knock on here from Adam Pompey first. Kraz is obviously in front of him. Kraz is obviously in front of him. This is clearly just off of Adam Pompey. Good challenge here from the Dogs. Adam Pompey's in front of Jacob Kraz. No shit. Why are we still waiting here? This is clearly just a knock on from Adam Pompey. Thank you, Bunker. Yep, you could have just said knocked on from Adam Pompey. Just straight away. I mentioned it because one time he did, the ball went into the in-goal area. Yeah, no, Robert, I'm not debating what you're saying. I'm sure that it did happen. I'm just saying, it's just Anthony Milford is just he's an interesting player, the old Anthony Milford. We used to have a thing on this channel. It's always Milford's fault because when he played with the Broncos, if they lost with him playing, it was his fault. If they lost without him playing, it was his fault for not playing. In every moment, Broncos fans would always blame Anthony Milford. Milford blame, Milford blame, Milford blame. It wasn't even an insult towards Milford from our standing point of saying it's always Milford's fault. It was actually insulting the Broncos fans because no matter what Milford did, he was always in the wrong. And I guess the same thing can happen with the Dolphins. But overall, Milford's a gold hero on this channel. David says, maybe kick out was the answer for the Dogs. Form reversal definitely helps in attack. Definitely helps in attack, obviously, feeling like a kick out. But they get this ball back. But you got to remember, was he playing in that game against the Raiders 2 weeks ago when they lost 40-16? Like the Tigers game last week doesn't prove shit. This game does show a lot, though. This is a good performance here against the Warriors. Colin Tracy's going to be at the 30 now on 5th tackle. At the 30. They get off to Lachlan Galvin. And he'll kick that ball down here to the 5. Chance gets it. Preston putting the pressure on. The thing is that with the Bulldogs getting Jacob Preston and William kick on the field, they've both got good pressure in terms of taking this. Loffy loses 5 metres down that play. Yikes. Oh, that's a penalty. Yep, that's a penalty. Good work there from Loffy trying to get that ball up quickly, and Crichton is all over the top of him. Penalty to the Warriors. Oh, was it last week, his first game? No, Knight should bring Milford back. Gee whiz. It's always Milford's fault, mate. I do blame Milford, to be fair. I blame Milford for this year for the Broncos, really. If he was playing, maybe it might be a different story. Oh, no, Warriors. Oh, jeez. They're a shambles in this game at the moment. That's going to be a Leah Tower who has the ball at 23. They had the penalty at the 30, which tells you there was a bit of a mistake where the ball dropped backwards. But Jacob Laban now, he will get this ball to the 25. They are seriously struggling for metres in this game, though. Can't believe Matt Duffy's back. Duffy was awful defensively last night, but he was great attacking-wise, and he is the starting fullback for the Rabbitohs now. Jai Gray is on the bench, and Wayne Bennett is deciding to do that. Jacob Laban taken down here at the 45, and he's lost the ball. Knock the ball on. They don't have a challenge as well. Knock the ball on here. Jacob Laban. And it's going to be Dogs ball. I think that's his second knock on of the game here too, actually. Yeah. Yeah, he has lost the ball there. But no, Matt Duffy is, funnily enough, the starting fullback for the Rabbitohs. He's been having a really good season. Just last night, it was really bad defensively. Has Kicks got any charge downs yet? He loves a good charge down. Not tonight, no. But he is massive for the charge down. Now, if you look at the error count, 8 errors for the Warriors, 2 errors for the Bulldogs. Completion rate, 97% for the Bulldogs, 75% for the Warriors. That means the Bulldogs have completed every set in the second half. He's had a terrible game, giving away penalties and second drop ball. Yeah, Jacob Laban's been having a rough one here, unfortunately. He's been having a rough old game here. But then again, so is everybody from the Warriors. You know, Fisher Harris is probably their best so far. Probably their best so far. They give out to Stephen Crichton. Crichton now to Lachlan Galvin. Galvin across Connor Tracy. And Ari Tuala. He'll be taken out to 30 on third tackle. And I'll give it out to... No, he doesn't give it to Leo. It'll be Lachlan Galvin at the 20 on fourth tackle. Bailey Hayward to Josh Curran. Curran down to Stephen Crichton. Crichton short ball to William Kickow. Looked for the offload, couldn't get it though. Fifth tackle now, 12 metres away from the line. Bailey Hayward. He'll go to Lachlan Galvin. Galvin kicks his ball through. Oh, knock on from Vaimalga. And it's going... No, oh, no, I would disagree with that. I think that was a knock on there from Vaimalga. But Adam G said that went backwards. I disagree with that. But anyway, second tackle for the Warriors at the 10. Warriors getting dangerously close to fraud. If they lose this game, mate, they're going on fraud. They are. And I think Warriors fans will agree with it. Harry Hadron says the Roosters played dirty against the Knights. Okay, but what's your point? What's your point behind it? Sure, but what's your point? Oh, Lecker's been whacked in the tackle there. He'll be back at the 25. They're not making any meters, man. Mitchell Barnett, he'll bring this ball out to the 30 on fifth tackle now. 20 minutes to go of the game here, folks. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. And they'll whack it down to the Dogs here at the 23. And I'll get it across now to Jethro Renakama at the 30. And he'll take this ball to the 40 on first tackle. Buzz says, I agree with fraud status. Yeah, look, you do have to think about it because, games recently, Dragons last week was a worry. But it's not enough because they still won. But it was a worry to think about putting them onto fraud. You know, the Sharks game a little bit ago, 10-8, was definitely fraudulent. They've just not been playing some unbelievable footy recently, but I think, they played the Tigers, and that was that was good, but that was also the Tigers, who are just in an absolute nightmare of a season at the moment. Fit tackle over the Doggies, they put the ball over the top here, but it will be Warriors ball at the 13 through Kurt Catewell. So where was it? Yeah, if the Warriors didn't just score one try, they're right back in this game. Realistically, that Dolphins loss really hurt the Wires in a lot of ways. Really hurt them. Because they were going to sneak it, but then they found a way to still lose it. 32-6 win over the Tigers proves nothing. 20-12 win over the Dragons was whatever. That was actually a disappointing win, but they won. This one's not looking great here. Joey Sam says, why Wires? I can't lose this tip, so you bribed by the NRL betting companies. There it is. There's the Mafia call. There it is. Always comes in. There's the Mafia call. Don't think Warriors this year. No hate, but no, Peter says. Well, who else? Like, again, I think there's going to be an injury to Vay Malga. God bless him. Who else? Like, Panthers is who I'm falling back on as a consistent pick, but nobody is proving themselves right now. It's on you now, Sharks against Manly tomorrow, because Titans and Dragons, nobody there. Cowboys, Broncos, nobody there. More chance of the Cowboys, I guess, but they're without Tommy Did. Like, it's up to you tomorrow, Sharks or Manly, to prove that you're here. Especially you, Sharks, as a top 4 team. Because there's nobody who is putting their foot down saying that we're going to win a damn World Cup right now. Third tackle here at the 25 for the Dogs. It's wide open. I think the Raiders are making a run. Sure, like, it is wide open and the Raiders are making a little bit of a run, but also don't let the Tigers game fool you. The Raiders also nearly lost to the Dragons. They did get over the line there. Raiders beat the Bulldogs. That was a good win considering this, but also the Bulldogs are not a consistent team by any stretch of the imagination. I want to see the Raiders play a good team, and next week they play the Panthers. Knock on Max King. Warriors, you got to do something with this. If you score one try, you're only within 2 converted tries of winning it. 1 converted try and 1 try away from tying it. You need to score now, Warriors. Like I said, you just need to score 1 try before the 70th minute, and then 2 tries in 10 minutes is not out of the equation. Roosters could beat Penrith in a grand final. Are you confident when you say that? Are you confident when you say that? We'll see the Panthers play the Roosters in a few weeks' time, and I could easily see the Roosters winning that game. But are you confident when you say that the last time the Roosters did play the Panthers, they lost 44-4 or something like that at Allianz? They go to the right-hand side to Aaron Clark, and Aaron Clark's now going to be the 25 on second tackle. Elias says, stop it. It's still been a fun game to watch. What? Who said anything about it not being a fun game to watch? I've loved this match. Oh, knock on in for the Doggies. So this is going to be Warriors who are going to get this ball back to the 25. Rendikama knocks the ball on. There's enough time, but no ideas tonight. Dogs are defending too well. There's still enough time here. Don't give up hope just yet. Warriors not looking like a top 8 side tonight, let alone a top 4 side. Won't be any easy next week versus our bogey team. Get around the old Gold Coast, son. Hey, look at us, man. Look at us getting worries from 3rd place in the competition. Look at how we're moving. I get you, though. I do understand. This is our biggest positive. The team in 3rd place right now is worried about playing us next week. But I understand. And Mitchell Barnett's going to be at the 28 on first tackle. Roosters would get smacked by the Panthers. I think the Panthers win, but I'm still not even confident the Panthers are going to get a smacking of anybody right now. They've looked really worrying for a while, but again, I'm falling back on the solidity of the Panthers to win the comp still. Aaron Clark with the ball at 20. They go to Mitchell Barnett, and Barnett's going to be at the 15 on third tackle. They go to the right-hand side to Aaron Clark. Aaron Clark at the back down to Tommy Martin. Tommy Martin at the back again. Charles Clockstad. Here's a chance. Here's a chance. No. No, it's not your night. No, it's not your night. You've lost. I'm sorry, Warriors fans, you've lost. No. He scores this try 9.9 times out of 10. He scores this 9.9 times out of 10. And he slips over at quite literally the worst moment. And he's over the sideline. It's Dogs ball at 10. Like, that's great stuff there from Stephen Crichton. But Daniel Martinez-Lesnak has... Oh, dude, he scores that 9.9 times out of 10. So the Doggies, they get this ball to the 15 on first tackle. That's the most tragic thing I've seen, as he says, oh, dude, that was it. That was the game right there. That was the game right there. Fun fact says, I'll flip my lid if the Sharks manage to lose tomorrow. I agree. Sea Eagles are so vulnerable right now. The Sharks have been in good form lately, but it would be the most Sharks thing to lose tomorrow. It would be very Cronulla-y. It would be very, very Cronulla-y. Buzz says, here I was thinking I was watching sport, but it's a comedy instead. Leo Thompson will get this ball to the 40. At the very least, Warriors fans, this is looking rough right now, but at the end of the day, you are still on 30. He's lost the ball there. The Dogs are actually allowing the Warriors to get back into the game, but the Warriors just need to want it enough to get back into the game. They're going to challenge the Dogs, but it's going to be a knock-on. They're going to challenge it, but it's going to be a knock-on. Laurie says Dogs deserve the win. They do right now. Still 14 minutes, but they would need to score before the next 4.5 minutes for mine. Get Malachi on the field right now. Dallin must have been up all night thinking about his watches. Jesus. Malachi Watchalong now being brought up in the big old 2026. He's looking to offload here. And yeah, he's just lost the ball there. It's a loose carry. He's looking to offload the ball, and it's an unsuccessful challenge. So both teams have lost their challenge today. Kay says, the Waz way is losing badly and don't change anyone on the field. I think we're all being, maybe not me, but I think people are being super harsh to the Warriors here. Like, this has been a great performance from the Dogs. Warriors haven't been great, but like at the end of the day, I think that the notion that's currently being kind of brought through in the chat is really quite harsh on the Warriors overall, though. Even though it's not been a great game from them, I'm not defending that. Yes, fraud is warranted right now. It's because the Dogs have allowed to get back into this game. We still can't do nothing. That's making me mad. Yeah, I agree. And you will be going on fraud with a loss here. Like, you will be going on fraud, but I'd like to see the Warriors give a little bit of something. But I just feel like people are more so looking at the Warriors playing poorly and not at the Bulldogs playing exceptional footy in this game so far. But the second half hasn't been great for the Doggies. They've been allowing the Warriors to get back into the game, but the Warriors just aren't taking it. It's been a good ride catcher next year. And that is the definition of the worst comment that I've seen all year for a third-place team. Third tackle now at the 20. They get off to Mitchell Barnett. Barnett now to Tamati Martin. Tamati Martin's going to be the 13. Fourth tackle. Wade Egan. Off to Fisher Harris. And Fisher Harris is now going to be the 5 on fifth tackle. Oh, he's lost the ball. He's lost the ball at the 5. It's Dogs ball at the 10. You can, oh, no, you can't do that, bro. You can't do that. David says, yes, I do that, Jez, but I have to pause Blaze. He's always ahead of my TV, but frustrating thing is comments stay ahead, so I see comment about tries before they happen. Yeah, it's hard. It's crazy, though, that I'm in Kazakhstan and yet I'm watching ahead of you. And YouTube has a delay, mind you. Like, there's like a 5 to 10 second delay. About probably a 10-second delay between me and you. So not only am I in Kazakhstan, but I'm a 10-second delay live for you, and yet I'm still ahead of you. Bulldogs bandwagons are coming back from the cave. Yeah, they will be. 100%. 100%. And they'll all say that they stuck by them through thick and thin this year. Like Lagan did. Lagan kind of did, actually. He kind of went away for a little bit. Now, Lagan did. Dasmay obviously does. You know, we've got some great Dogs fans here who've stuck by them through. But I just know that, you know, next week for the Dogs, I don't know if they're at home, but next week for the Dogs, you know, we're going to see them upgrade by about 10,000 seats. Like, there'll be 10,000 more people that'll turn up next week saying they were there the whole time. And there's no blaming the refs tonight. It's all on them. Yeah, no, I agree. You can't blame the refs for this game. Like, the third try that the Bulldogs scored did come off the back of a poor call. I don't agree with the third try for the Dogs because there was a pass off of the ground. With that being said, it's just not been good enough for the Warriors today. Very nice. Yes, I am in Kazakhstan. I'm in Almaty right now. I am in Almaty. Third tackle here at the 50. It says Titans the only team that hasn't been put on fraud alert. Well, they'll never be on fraud alert. They've never lost a game before. I'd be super surprised to ever see them lose a game. Right inside. Dallin the 30. The 25. The 20. Viliami Kickoff slips over. Fourth tackle now. Warriors, you still got a minute 40 to score in my time frame that I gave him. Wade Egan to Mitchell Barnett. And Mitchell Barnett, he will be at the 15 on fifth tackle. They go to the right to Tamati Martin. Tamati Martin, no. Well, he offloaded it, luckily enough. Wade Egan to Harris DeVita to Pompey, kicked in. That's going to be played at, but the Dogs will get the ball. No, it's a knock on Dogs. Knock on for the Dogs. So Warriors, they're going to get another opportunity. You've had plenty of opportunities to get into this game. Tigers, we suck at this time every year, like a time warp. We're stuck in some Groundhog Day. Yeah, that's actually not a bad point. But also, like, look at the reasoning behind that too, though. You know, ultimately, we've seen last year impacted by Luke Metcalf and also Mitchell Barnett injury coming at the worst point of the season. Then since then, you completely fell off a cliff. And then this year, you saw Tanner Boyd, and then your attack obviously fell off a cliff. So your starting sevens have both been injured at the halfway to three-quarter mark of the season, and then you just haven't been able to recover. You know, I have always said that I don't really believe in Harris Avita and Tamati Martin as a halves. Oh, no. The Warriors will be taking down the 10 first tackle. Still time here. You need to score this set. If you score this set, you're still on with a chance. If you don't score here, it's probably done and dusted. But I wouldn't be surprised with a knock-on with what we've seen today. 10 minutes to go in the game here, folks. 16-0 to the Dogs. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. The Warriors go right outside. Wade Egan, Aaron Clark. Aaron Clark at the back here. Tony Martin. Charles Newell. Clockstad. That's a strong run. But even better defence from the Dogs. 3 metres away from the line. Wade Egan. Short ball. Quick pass. Forward pass. Not a knock-on, but there was an error. Forward pass there for the Warriors. That should be over. That should be it. They've had way too many opportunities to get back into this game. Way too many opportunities. Oh, boy. Way too many opportunities. Kenny says, I only needed 33 points. This game needs the Benny Hill theme playing throughout. Sums it up. Shout out to the few old farts like me who knows what I'm talking about. I think most people have probably heard about Benny Hill, but obviously they are still going back a bit. That is a forward pass there from the Wars. Callum says, the Warriors have been terrible today. Bulldogs have been fantastic, but the Warriors haven't been good enough. And also the second half for the Bulldogs hasn't been fantastic. First 40 was fantastic. And I'll give it out to Inari Tuala. Inari Tuala's away here. Inari Tuala's away here. Inari Tuala's away here. This could be it. This could be the crusher. This could be the nail in the coffin. Oh, he should have passed that ball there. They're at the 45 on first tackle. That nearly arguably could have made a bin there for holding him down. Well, that's a shoulder charge, but they're not going to call it. Javen Salmon will be at the 40 now on second tackle. This could be the nail in the coffin. That's a penalty. That's so dumb from Channel Harris Avita. That's just dumb. That's just dumb there. Penalty to the Dogs here. Penalty to the Dogs. Penalty to the Dogs. Yeah, feel the magic in the air. Warriors fans aren't feeling any magic in the air right now. Titans fans should still be a little wary because the Warriors should be looking to bounce back hard. Bounce back hard after this disgraceful performance tonight. They're going to be baying for blood next week for sure. Mate, do you realise we're in second last? You're talking as if like it's a big game. Oh, dear. They're going to go over the 2 here, the Dogs. They're going to go over the 2 here. Couldn't get more of an obvious shoulder charge. Yeah, definitely should have been a shoulder charge there. But either way, penalty to the Dogs, and they'll go over the 2. Community says, are you holding off on the fraud alert until you see what happens next week? No, I'm holding off until... Well, look, if you're begging for it, Warriors fans, if you're begging for it, fine. Fine, I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you. You're on fraud alert. You're on. It's official. Wee-oo, 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 wee-oo. Sure is. If you're going to beg for it and you're going to demand it, well, shit. We're going to put you on it there, son. So you're on fraud alert. You've been schmack-a-bundossed on the old fraudy. You asked for it. You asked for it. All right, so the Doggies will go for the 2, and the Doggies will get the 2. 18 points to nil with 8 minutes to go. And don't forget, guys, in 20 minutes' time, Broncos-Cowboys, really big game, that one. A really big game as both teams are desperate for the 8. Buzz says, if I was giving any generosity to the Warriors, conceding 16 points is passable, but the attack is absolute rubbish. Yet, the attack has been rubbish today, and I did outline that as a concern before the game started. Right, since you had that ready fast. Well, no, I just copy and paste the fraud from the other team. Fun Fact says, so Titans are the Warriors bogey team, aren't they? But what's your point here? At the very least, there will be added intensity for next week's game to make up for how poor they were tonight. Yeah, but what's your point here, mate? Titans should be worried. Titans should be worried about every single game in existence. Like, what is next? From a Titans point of view, we couldn't give a shit about next week's game. Like, you're making a point as if, like, it's a... You know who I think you are you? But you're making a point here that is just so irrelevant to the Titans. Tiger Hood with a $2 into the nation. Get around you, Tiger Hood. Says, appreciate the great commentary. The only highlight. Appreciate you, Tiger Hood. Get around you. So be pressing right through the line here. Pressing right through the line. This could be the nail. This could be the nail right here. They get the offload away to Lachlan Galvin. Galvin now at the 20. At the 15 on third tackle. Dogs are playing with real confidence and grit. Yeah, Glenn, you're right. Dogs have played a really good game of footy today. A really good game. Stephen Crichton, Villiam kick out, quick passing, short ball. Matty Burton, see you later. He's over the line. No, he's not. It's going to be Jethro Redekama. Redekama loses the ball. Redekama loses the ball. Knock on Jethro Rinakama. Rob says, every time I watch the Wars play Titans, they lost as if it's my fault. Because the Titans have never lost a game ever in history, mate. That's why. Look at the top of the table, flying. They're flying. The Titans have been very good lately, that's why. Very good is a stretch. Like, taking away the banter and whatnot about them being first, very good is a massive stretch. Better is the right words. Lekahalasima with a great run here, brings the ball to the 35 on second tackle. And they're everyone's team. We all love the Titans. Well, that is true, fun facts. Then you're making sense now. You're making sense now. Third tackle. I hate doing Titans-Warriors games because I actually love the Wars, but like I just cop it from Warriors fans. I need us to not get smashed next week. Fourth tackle at 45. Pacers go Titans. They'll come good one day, hopefully. Mate, they're good now. They're on top of the table. So fourth tackle, Tamani Martin runs through the line. Didn't find Lekahalasima. Now he finds Lekahalasima too late, though. It'll be fifth tackle at 25, 30, 35. For your dad says, our last count for the night, but 170 minutes since the last try was scored against the Bulldogs. Just want to remind everyone, though, that one of those games includes the Tigers. Mitchell Barnett with a kick over the top here. Harris Tavita! Harris Tavita's going to score! No, you're giving them hope. Don't give them hope. Oh, no. For your dad, give me another comment now, Muddabish. Give me another update. How many minutes since the Dogs last conceded a point for you, Dad? How many minutes? Give us another update there for you, Dad. Chanel Harris Tavita. Mitchell Barnett with the try assist here, by the way. A little ding from him. And then Harris Tavita. He will pick it up with his left hand. He will score. Slip of the tongues to give the Dogs their flowers. Up the wires. Yeah, you got to give the Dogs their flowers today, but surely not. Surely, this is so brutal from the Warriors. Like, they finally score now. They're going to make it a 12-point game. They give themselves, like, the slightest of chances, but they've just given hope in a game that feels hopeless. just give them hope when... Oh, dear me. Do we get to hear the 44-0 song again on Jenko's vlog next week? Yeah, hopefully. Great song there from Jenko. All right, so Harris Tavita will bang it on in. 18 points to 6 with 4 minutes to go to game. Ziggy Butterworth with the $5 donation says Barnett might need to take up the 7. Maybe. Get Barnett in the 7. And that would have been a link up between the 7 and 6 there with Harris Tavita scoring. Thank you very much for the dono. Tiger says, have your charity try back, Bulldogs. Brendan says they avoid the donut up the Wars. Mate, Wars, they're flying now. Where's For Your Dad's comment now? It's not even an insult if we dad. He knows it's not. I'm just taking the piss out of the fact that he kept updating us with how many minutes it was since the the Dogs last conceded. You have to score on this set here, Warriors, and then you have to score on the next set as well. And then we could be going extra time. Now they figure the chip and chase could work. Yeah, well, now they figure that maybe doing a little bit something different might work. But also, that was Mitchell Barnett, a prop forward, who has done that. Last try wins, though, right? Chris says. Well, look, I'm going to have to agree here. Yeah, no, I'm going to have to agree. You're right. Yeah, you're right. Last try wins. Sorry, Doggies fans. Your season has come to an end. Wade Egan and Mitchell Barnett. And Barnett now. Jeez, best attacker in the game. Breaks through to the 30 on third tackle. Wade Egan, Lekahalasima. Leka the wrecker. Hasn't been wrecking too much this year. Fourth tackle. And they go out to the left-hand side to Aaron Clark. Aaron Clark, quick pass to Tamani Martin. Tamani Martin at the back here to Harris Tavita. Harris Tavita, Luffy out of Campera, Luffy out of Campera. Oh, taking on the 45. Fifth tackle. I think he could have backed himself in there. Harris Tavita runs it. Wade Egan. Wade Egan takes this ball over the top here. Look at the chip and chases coming up here. Oh, Con Tracy does get it, though, at the 23, and that might be the ball game. I think we try Metcalf next week. I think that would be crazy considering that Metcalf is not at your club next year. Mitch Barnett for the game-winning try, chip and chase from kickoff and scoring. It makes the end of the season interesting with some teams on the edge of the 8 making runs, Dogs and Faders, yeah? Yeah, no, absolutely. Dogs, Raiders, Manly still there, Storm still technically there. You know, Broncos will sell you a dream. They'll sell you an absolute Ponzi scheme, that Brisbane club. They are selling the biggest Ponzi scheme that I've ever seen in my life right now in Brisbane. 4 tackle at the 40 for the Doggies. You know, Cowboys there still, Dolphins still on the edge. Knights are absolutely threading a thin line. Now, thin ice there for the Knights. Still going to get 2 more wins of the season. It's not exactly super easy. And yet they've lost their halfback and also their best back rower in a breakout year. Klokstad's going to run this ball back. You need to score now, and then now again here, Warriors. Dogs will be in ninth after this game, Jacob, but it comes down to Manly losing to the Sharks tomorrow. Dallin brings his ball to the 25 on third tackle. 2 minutes to go here. Dallin gives it up to Wade Egan. Wade Egan to Tanner Smith, and he'll be at the 35 on fourth tackle. Broncos Cowboys up in 10 minutes' time. And everyone's just waiting for the Broncos to lose one more game so we don't have to keep hearing about this miracle run of 7 wins in a row. Peter, I don't want to hear the Ponzi scheme, mate. I've had enough of your PowerPoint presentations, all right? Kurt Catewell will just kick this ball away, and that's the game, folks. That's the game, ladies and gentlemen. Jeffrey Renacama gets that ball at the 5. And he'll be taken down to the 9. First tackle. Didn't Lecker come on and get hurt? Lecker's on the field. Metcalf come over the Dragons next week, Tiger. Second tackle. Broncos Cowboys be an awesome game. Hopefully, Henry, hopefully. David Watson says on Metcalf, if he's the best option, wouldn't you play him even though he's leaving? Best to try and win grand final, someone to play like that. Like someone playing Luai. Sure, I said this weeks ago. I said this when Tanner Boyd's injury happened, but they didn't do it. So it would be just such a shade. It would be such an uppercut to guys like Tamati Martin and Harris Avita, which is also fair if that's the case. But I said when Tanner Boyd went down that Metcalf just has to come straight back in, otherwise let him go now. They didn't let him go, and Metcalf just hasn't been seen since, and he didn't come in here today either, mind you. And Chance Newell-Klokstad, he'll get the offload away. Daniel Martinez-Lesniak will be taken up to 33. First tackle over the Warriors, but 35 seconds to go. It is all Donald Reno and Dusted here so far for the Wars, who are now on the old fraud alert. Warriors pretenders after this game. Well, no, because everyone's a pretender right now, Walkinshaw. Everyone. No team is standing up and saying that we are the best team in the comp right now. No team. No team is. Well, Warriors, they've got a great chance to bounce back next week against the Titans. Mitchell Barnett here. He'll take the ball to the 40 on fourth tackle. 5 seconds left. Oh, that's a bad play, the ball. And that's the game. Galen Kelly says hate the Warriors right now. We're here again, aren't we, Galen? We are here again, but unfortunately for the Warriors, they will lose 18 points to 6 to the Bulldogs, who keep their season alive. 12-point win means that they will go to 24 points and minus 58, which will put them into 9th position. It comes down to whether Manly win tomorrow against the Sharks or not if they stay there, but they will go back above the Raiders for the time being. The top 8 is an intense battle right now. They are still close enough to the Cowboys points differential, who play in the next game against the Brisbane Broncos. But again, Manly Sharks game is so important tomorrow for that top 8 because Manly with that plus 126 is just so dangerous, man. It's just so dangerous for everyone around there. And really is keeping you honest for you need to get above 32 points because if you finish on 32 with Manly, I'm telling you, none of these teams around here will finish on the same amount of points differential. It will be below them. So you can't let Manly get to the 13 wins by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, Bulldogs will be in 9th position for the time being. Warriors, you will stay in 3rd. You'll go down to plus 190. The Sharks are not winning by 66 points tomorrow against Manly. So you'll stay in 3rd, but you are on the old fraud McFraudster alert. You are on the old fraud McFraudster alert. After this one, unfortunately, and we'll see how it pans out next week when you take on the Titans at Seabus West Auckland. But all right, guys, I'll see you in the next game for the Broncos versus the Cowboys. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. This is too red for my liking. I hate that we've got a fraud alert, scam, and a scam. These guys could easily go back onto it today as well. These guys could easily go to scam tomorrow. My gosh, this is the easiest I've ever seen. The only team that has no guarantee of going to a scam or fraud alert is a damn well mighty Gold Coast Titans, son. But like I said, thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in 5 minutes' time for the Broncos versus the Cowboys. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya. Gee whiz, son.